Welcome to Thornbridge X Unfiltered. Are you what?
We're on.
Okay.
I'm just laughing because what a day. My gosh.
It's what did he know? Glenn thought he was trying to tease me that we were going live and we were actually live. So welcome to
Uh-oh. Hang on a second. We're all over the place tonight. All right. Keep going, Jen. We're on.
welcome to Thornbridge X Unfiltered. Tonight we're discussing what did he know? And apparently, what do we know? Jeez. Here we go.
There we go.
Welcome in. It's Wednesday night. Good to see everybody. So sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties and somebody didn't cue me. We were live for real. So I was joking around. Anyway, here we are. So, gotta
We're
love
going.
live TV. So thank you so much for showing up tonight. We wanted to talk about what did the perpetrator know in the Nancy Guthrie case. There's been a lot of speculation as to we know that there was reconnaissance. I looked it up again today. Sheriff Nanos had talked about January 11th, that the still photo was from them. Then all of a sudden it was, well, we think it may have been. We know it was from January 11th. The amount of neighbors that were talked to and asked for any film, any recordings, any journal writings, all of that was discussed for January 11th. So knowing that there was some reconnaissance that happened, the question that both of us have, and a lot of the comments that we've been getting, not to mention the emails, is was there a person involved in Nancy's life that was giving information to someone? Was this a hired someone, or was this reconnaissance for another reason? So that's what we're going to dive into tonight is what did the perpetrator know? So one of the graphics that I wanted to put up tonight is discussing her mobility issues. So would her limited mobility make advanced planning more likely? And did the person expect her to cooperate, or were they expecting resistance? And I think a lot of us have talked about that. You know, were they thinking they would just go in and be able to get what they needed and get out, and that she would cooperate with some sort of, material that they brought in, as in a firearm or anything else? That's been the question. Or was she possibly the type of personality that they knew about that could possibly resist? What do you all think?
It kind of depends on a little bit like going back to last episode is what the motive was. And, that it's amazing. God, it was just really crazy. The disparity. Is that the right word for
I don't know. What are we talking about?
like the 4 or 5 motives? I mean, there's really 3 if you really think about it, because again, I know there's some people in here that go with the burglary thing. I just can't, because crime had a beginning, middle, and end, and nowhere in any phase of this crime was anything taken, as far as we know, by the Pima County Sheriff's Department. They've told us there's been nothing taken, and they, of all the things that they would lie about, they gain nothing by telling us that. In fact, we would all just shut up and go away if they said, "Oh yeah, it was burglary," and they took her diamond ring. That's what it was for.
I know you kept saying
We
that
wouldn't be here
today.
talking tonight, and there wouldn't be 200 streamers all trying to figure out what happened and trying to help find her. They could have just done that, but they didn't. They said they don't know what the motive is either because nothing was taken. So it kind of still bleeds over into that. It always will, because we don't know the motive, right? But I don't know. Like, did her mobility have anything to do with it?
Like she was an easy
Maybe,
target.
because it wasn't her location. That would have been the last place to go.
Right.
Maybe it was specifically because of her ability to fight back. So that's a valid point, I think.
Well, there's been people that have thought that maybe it wasn't of something that we would think of as value, like watches, jewelry, expensive purses, expensive artwork. There have been people that have emailed us, left comments.
Gosh, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we can't thank you enough, and quite frankly, also for your trust in us that you think that we would take it to the next level and research it, because that's what I do. So I really enjoy doing that. I really enjoy getting that information and diving a little bit deeper. Why are you laughing?
It's a complete understatement. I mean, if you know what we did today and yesterday
Yeah, that's true.
before a trip we had to take to, oh my gosh, just between all of it. But yeah, there's a can I stop real quick?
Yeah.
You're not gonna yell at me later?
What does that even mean?
She never yells at me. Blink 3 times if you're in trouble. So
That should be
we
my line.
really we released a members only video tonight, and I didn't want it to be a teaser, but it kind of had to be because we're not finished with what's coming up. We
Right.
have, I don't want to say major. I don't want to get to be like, we joke around because there's a certain news channel that we don't watch very much, but when we do, it's boom, boom, news alert. And it does it like 5 times through the thing they're talking about. And I'm like, news alert. And it's like degrees went down 4 in Austin today or whatever. How is that? Everything's a news alert. We're not that way, right?
Didn't it used to be like in the 70s and 80s when we were growing up and there was a news alert, like something bad happened, like really bad, like, a bridge collapse.
Yeah.
Somebody got, pew-pewed at. Something happened.
Something major.
Yeah. And now it feels like, dun, dun, dun. Like
News
you
alert.
said.
We got a new news alert banner. That's the news.
Exactly.
But anyway, we released a film, members only, because I think we were almost in tears because of all the members that we got the first night.
You guys have been awesome.
We're
Yeah.
literally looking at each other going, why? People really seem to be, I don't know, reacting to what we're doing.
Oh, can't hear Glenn clearly. Is it just me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, what would help is if I had the mic up to my mouth too. But it's kind of everyone else's fault because we literally had so much to do today, getting back with all the emails, and we still haven't gotten through all of them. So if you haven't received anything back
It's
from
the
us,
car accident of an intro today.
and actually, let me put the mic on.
I think we kind of did a little bit of Bionic Woman and $6 Million Man jumping over the sofa and hitting live.
So
So
there's our new mic flag. See if you can see that way. But, oh, you
thank
can.
God for the mic flags.
Right there's TBX, but I can't sit like that, so whatever. Anyway, can you hear me now?
Yes.
So where was I?
Okay, we were talking about the fact that we don't do clickbait. So we don't do, the dun dun dun. At least we try not to. If we put a subject up in our thumbnail or in a live or whatever, it's going to be what we're talking about.
Well, in the member video that we did,
Correct.
I said it may have come out like a teaser, but it's not. We really wanted to just let people know. Members get to know everything first. And there's some major things that Jennifer, again, you guys, I tell you every time. I mean, you put Jen on a phone with a mission and it gets done. And even if people's feelings get hurt, that's the whole unfiltered, unapologetic. That's not me. That's her.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, she's the unfiltered. Well, no, we're both unfiltered. I guess I'm unapologetic too, but I don't know. If it's getting something
You
done,
literally told people the other night to shut up.
Yeah. Oh, did I really? I'm sorry. I don't mean to do that. But anyway, so members got to see that, or we'll see it after tonight because I don't want you to click over to watch it now. But there is a members only video that we released about an hour ago. And just to be real clear on it, when you watch that, that's for your eyes only right now. But we will say with everybody else, there's something major, and the members know a little bit more about it because it's in the description and in the video.
There's going to be 2 parts. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And then eventually we'll release it to everybody. But at this point, we're just wanted you to know. Thank you so much for those of you that have subscribed, have become members. It's been amazing.
You just hit the join key and pick one of the memberships and join. They both have perks. but we are going to do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Like we're going to do
Thank
a
you.
little what do you call it? A run around the studio and show everybody behind the scenes
Just
of the
behind the scenes
studio.
stuff.
Our
But those of
green
you that
room. We have a green
subscribe,
room,
I know
Jen.
we do have a green
She set
room.
up a green room. My wife's a designer. If people don't know that, Jennifer, by her talent, her trade, her used to yesteryear life, I guess, is an interior designer. So I was a home builder, worked for home builders, built on our own, and Jennifer was a designer, and that's a match made in heaven, really, if you think about it. That's
Yeah,
we were successful for 25, almost 30
we
years
had a lot
doing
of fun.
that. Had a lot of fun doing it, but we've always been true crime junkies, Jen a lot more than me. But that's kind of where we come from. It's in our blood, but well, I don't know,
Well, we have
maybe.
a lot of law enforcement
Yeah.
friends, his
Oh, yeah.
brother-in-law being retired homicide,
Yeah.
our son being a first responder. I think it comes naturally that when you have people like that in your life, that you really care about what happens to people that you don't always know about. And when there's mysteries or things that happen that feel extremely unjust, I think all of us hope that there are people out there that will, out of the goodness of their heart, try to help in any way they can. And what is happening tonight?
Yeah, we just weren't ready to go live because
God,
we were sitting there going through emails, and then you realize we're on Mondays at 8, Wednesdays at 7, and
it
Saturdays at
is a
8.
little bit like
Today's an hour
da-da-na-na-na-na,
earlier. Yeah.
da-da-na-na-na to try and get set up.
And this morning we were not where we live. We were hours away getting back. So,
Right.
but here we are.
But anyway, we do have a green room. For those of you that subscribe, we really appreciate it. For those of you that become members, we're going to have a little bit of behind the scenes stuff to share with you, some stuff that we won't necessarily share right away with our regular subscribers. And subscribing is free. So we hope everybody subscribes. And those of you that have, we can't thank you enough for the amazing support, emails, comments. It's been awesome. So, anyway, back to the task at hand.
We were talking
So,
about her limited mobility as possibly making her a target, I guess is the word.
and Cute Chaos sent us some jewels. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you. We're still learning all this stuff. So,
Yeah. Thank you very much for that.
so limited mobility. I really do feel like this was part of the reconnaissance. Probably like we've all talked about pattern of life. What was her normal pattern? Did she go through the front door? Did she go through the back door? Did she go through the garage door? I think we're assuming a lot of things, but we don't know. And how much of this could a person gain from just observing her for even a few nights or just one night? I think we're all trying to figure it out. So the next one, okay, somebody said I can't go with robbery either. Thank you for posting that.
Yeah, you had.
And I'm going to try and get to as many of you in the chat right away. And if we don't, I promise you we're going to take questions at the end. Tonight is kind of a hard stop due to Patriot Pride. We don't want to miss it tonight. So hard
I
stop
wanna,
before 9.
real quick, I know we're kind of all over, but we're just getting rolling tonight. That's the first graphic or slide. I never know what to say. But anyway, Patriot Pride has an amazing, amazing topic tonight. And I think he's going to not go all Nancy Guthrie tonight. And I think we're going to be really pleased at that because sometimes you need a break to go off to, we did another episode that wasn't Nancy Guthrie.
And we have some planned coming soon.
Yeah. And by the way, we get a lot of email on that one. And I don't know what you call it, the analytics or whatever for that show are through the roof.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. So we know there's a hunger because that's what we love all the cases that we run into. I mean, some of them are, we don't talk about much because they're boring or they're just too sad or whatever, but well, they're all kind of sad, I guess. But we're going to do other cases than Nancy Guthrie.
Right.
And I know Patriot Pride is trying to do it too. And we need to give him support to prove to everybody, all the streamers, that there's other people that deserve to be found or helped also. And that's as we grow in subscriptions and memberships and all that, I think it's not disrespectful, but it's important that we bring about other cases too. There's
other families, there's other missing people that deserve our time and deserve our attention and a second look, third look.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate you supporting us and supporting Patriot Pride. So
so later we'll be tuned into that and supporting them for sure on that. And then we've got other things we want to go through too.
What is a
What?
happy poop?
What does it
It's
say?
gifted a happy poop. 10 joules. Thank you very much.
Cool. I still don't know what jewels are. I gotta figure that out. But I
I
know
think it's
that,
like a hype. But anyway,
yeah,
next video. Otherwise, people are going to be like, they're too much of a car accident
yeah, we are
tonight.
a little bit. So we were on this, and then you told me that you wanted to talk about or have this on
Well,
next.
this isn't the full picture. It was kind of hard to really get the full picture of it, but I think most of you are familiar with this photo of her. She's actually standing in the studio with Savannah, holding her cane. You can see visibly in this photo, if you Google it, that she has some bruising on her from the amount of blood thinners that she's on. And because our son is a first responder firefighter in North Texas with a big firefighting outfit, we know that a lot of this is very common when they come across elderly that have mobility issues and are on blood thinners. It just makes them more susceptible to any bang, that happens in the house. You have to have, band-aids ready. So we already know that she was in a vulnerable state. And I think the question has been whether this was a consideration. If there was something in the home, like a document or something that we're not aware of, and maybe the, police department isn't even aware of, that maybe somebody was after something beyond what we would think somebody would be after, then maybe the potential was that they thought that she would not put up resistance, that she would be easy. So
There,
to
there was some.
burgle,
When was that picture taken?
that I'm not sure.
Well, this looks like it wasn't that long ago. Maybe in a year, last year.
I don't know. I just know that we have family members that have, where they're elderly and on blood thinners, and I can tell you that it literally is like dealing, and I think somebody just said that, cute chaos. Their skin is like paper thin, and that's
Yeah.
correct. It's like dealing with tissue paper. One little bump, you're bleeding. So I wondered if that was part of the reconnaissance, was learning not only her pattern of life, but what made her extremely vulnerable. So the next slide, I see Jaylene is trying to give us a little class on what jewels are in the chat. I can't really read it though. I'll read it in a minute. So does the backpack suggest preparation, or could it have contained ordinary personal items? Boy, this backpack conversation has been like all over the map. I personally think it was a taker kit. That's what I think. I think it had a tarp, something like that in it. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like a folded up, soft item. It also looks like the front pocket is filled to the brim, and I don't know what that would be with, like maybe some sort of, gag or something else to keep her quiet. I don't see a roll of tape. I don't see anything like that. I know other people have said that they feel very strongly that there is a drone in there. I don't, in my opinion, see anything that looks like that. We have various sizes of drones ourselves. When we've put them in bags, first of all, they're heavier than they look. They are lightweight, but they're heavier than they look. I do think the shifting on his backpack would have suggested something heavier, which I did not personally see. So I'm not in the camp that there's anything heavier than lightweight materials. That's just me. But it could have been, I think somebody had in the respect said zip ties, correct, or gags or anything else that's lightweight. I just don't, do you see anything else heavier?
Well, we've argued about this backpack thing a
I
lot.
know. Is
Initially,
it really arguing, or is it just
I don't know.
constructive conversation?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're slapping each other or anything. Nothing physical. But
I didn't mean that. I just meant I wouldn't call
I,
it an argument.
yeah, the thing with the backpack, don't even get me started.
Okay.
There's some streamers that I have a lot of respect for that I watch.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I know
Still
where you're going.
do, love them. There's nothing heavy and big in that back. Well, see, there's density. What do you call it?
You're my density.
Destiny.
I'm just kidding.
Do you have Lixexia?
Everybody
So
knows what movie that's from.
yeah,
Sorry.
if you do, if you know, you know.
I'm sorry.
So the backpack is full, so it's stuffed. In fact, I have a backpack that I used today to come home from where we were at, and I was joking around, going, "Look, it's not," and I have to put my foot out like he did or whatever. I don't think it was that heavy. I think it was full. So in other words, it wasn't something that was heavy and dense in there. Now I don't know about the drone or any of that kind of thing. I still don't see a drone. I mean, I don't know how you would say there's a drone in there just because of the shape of something. I feel like it was maybe a few things and a blanket, but we know it was no tools. We know there was no tape in there. We know there was no tools in there, at least. In fact, it was open when that was made
Yeah, we saw
clear to
that
me.
on
That,
Patriot Pride where they noticed
yeah,
that.
Adam
Yeah.
showed that it was open. So I don't know. Why do you bring something fluffy and big in a backpack to a place? Because you don't want to carry it with your hands. But a blanket, that kind of tells me this didn't end well, or it wasn't planned to end well.
Yeah.
That's why I got mad last time. Anybody that wants to hurt an 84-year-old woman who's done nothing to you that we know of, but even if she did, you have no right to go do that. And that's just horrible. You're an evil, bad person, and you need to be brought to justice. And between all of YouTube streamers, what other, I don't know if we're allowed to say those other social media thing, you're going to get caught. And I know he watches probably some of the bigger ones like Interview Room, those larger streamers. I'm sure he keeps up with them. Some of the larger news channel streams, I'm sure he's watching those. And if he ever comes on here and watches this, he, she, all of them, whatever, I'm going to get in trouble for that. But you need to do the right thing. You need to go turn in, go to an attorney first if you need to, whatever you got to do, because you're going to be caught. I think it'd be better if you didn't get caught by, what the police, you don't want the police just to catch you. You want to be in control of that, in my opinion. But moving on, sorry I went on, but I don't know. I just get upset about that. Could you imagine?
No, I can't. But I don't think it was a blanket. I think a blanket, believe it or not, blankets are, ask any mom out there that's had a sleepover and brought out the blankets. The blankets are heavier than they look. I
Well, I
really think it
mean,
was a tarp.
yeah, well,
Tarps
that's
are
what
a
I
lot
mean.
more
Yeah.
lightweight. They can fold out fold very compactly and then fold out and be, huge. So blankets are just I mean,
Yeah.
that would have to have been one thin type of blanket, and I'm not sure that that would really help. But who am I? I don't know. I feel like plus fibers. I mean, fibers from
Yeah.
blankets, good luck.
Now, you may add something else in there to make it a little more heavy, but it's not like if you ever remember in school when you had a backpack, if you leaned or what, the weight of the books, it would slide to the side. It wasn't doing any of that. It was staying very easily wherever he had it on his back. So I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean, I'm seeing like Debbie Niner said that maybe it was, um, what did she say? Something written in her journal. Oh, an army vet. Let's see. Asked about the pacemaker this weekend. Now the interview is covering the pacemaker. That's funny. That is so funny.
We actually went and I don't know what you call it, but we re-verified, I guess. Like, Jennifer said all this stuff about the pacemaker, which is true.
Yeah,
We talked to
was that our
now.
first episode or second episode that we did? We covered the pacemaker and I
But keep in mind,
interviewed.
even though
Yeah,
we've talked to a cardiologist that he prescribes pacemakers and has been doing it for over 20 years, what
right.
he says, we still go, well, maybe he doesn't know there's a different pacemaker setup or whatever. So we go further and we go to the manufacturers, and there's two or three major manufacturers,
Hmm.
but most people are on the one. So we can say within 65% she had that one. But no matter which one she had, we're pretty sure we know what we're talking about, but that doesn't mean we're 100% infallible. I mean, something may come out and go, oh, no, she had something else, because we got to remember a pacemaker is not a heart monitor. I've even wore a heart monitor
That's
before.
extremely
You get
important to
older, your
understand.
doctors do that every once in a while. You had to wear one for a couple weeks once. Someone in our family is wearing one right now. They're a blast, by the way, especially in the summer. But anyway, that's not what a pacemaker is. A pacemaker, right? It shoots an
Right.
electrical charge every once in a while when your heart says it needs it. Doesn't tell your doctor a bunch of stuff. It's once a day. It downloads some data, and the doctor has over 1,000 patients. Good cardiologist. There's a deer running by her.
I know.
Oh, she's got a hurt foot,
She has a limp.
but she's getting around fine. Anyway,
There's been some misconceptions with it, misreporting or misunderstanding what's been reported. I think I just saw somebody in the chat. I think it's Lynn GMB, pacemaker spike, they said. So Nancy Grace said that about Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker. And I went and looked it up, and that was, unless somebody else can find it differently, what was reported was a CNN doctor got on and said that potentially, if they get a hold of her pacemaker, it could show a spike. It was a potential, a possibility. It was a theory that he had. There is no reported spike that I could find that Nanos or anybody else said in a press conference. And if somebody can find that where he did, please send it to me because I couldn't find it. I found that it was a CNN doctor that was on talking about it, saying that it could potentially show that she had a spike. The other misconception is the iPhone, which showed a disconnect. So when you look it up and you research this through the manufacturers and also me backing it up through the electrocardiologist, which prescribes pacemakers for patients, who's obviously this is his job, said they are not continually connected to your iPhone. They, much like the iPhone, much like the bedside monitor, also does a connect, and it's usually between midnight and 3 a.m. So what it does is it will connect, do a proverbial, like it does a signal that reaches out to communicate with the pacemaker. If you have left your iPhone, if you are nowhere near your box by your bed, that then when it goes up to do its signal to reach out to the pacemaker and no pacemaker is there, it will show a disconnect, which some apps on the iPhone have since changed that. And they now say no signal because it was freaking people out that it said disconnected, which was giving out essentially a false information to the patients, thinking it was connected all the time and there must be something wrong with the pacemaker. They're like, it is not continuously connected. It reaches out to connect. And when it can't connect, it will show a disconnect signal on your phone. So, what my understanding is, and what the cardiologist explained to us, is that Mrs. Guthrie was not there. Her pacemaker was not there when her phone went to connect and her bedside monitor, if she had a bedside monitor. But what they said was phone showed disconnect. So at some point within the person showing up to her door, and at some point when her phone tried to connect to the said pacemaker, she was not there. So I think a lot of us misunderstood and thought that meant, oh, it disconnected, meaning it's always continuously connected. So when she left the home, it showed a disconnect. And that's not what happened. So it's very confusing, but I was very glad to find out that information. I was glad to get confirmation of that information from multiple manufacturers, as well as the cardiologist, because that made me feel like that's another piece of the puzzle that we've all been missing. Is we thought that this person was in the home for almost a freaking hour, and it sounds like they could have been in and out in a much shorter period of time. And they left her iPhone, they left her watch, they left her your hearing aids and everything behind. So at 2:30 or 2:38 when her phone, and it's random, by the way, these connections that are made by the devices are random. It's not an alarm, it's not a set time. So when it tried to make that connection, she wasn't there, but we don't know when exactly she left.
yeah.
So anyway,
So here's a comment that takes us kind of a little bit back to the first slide a little bit.
okay, what?
From Paris 1229. Hello, I'm a CNA. Wow, thank you for your
Yeah, geez.
work that you do. Several caregivers were in her home. It was a past caregiver's family member. See, that is exactly, I feel like
Wow.
this was somebody that did know her. And I always joke around. I go, it was somebody's, uncle's brother's cousin that worked for her.
Yeah, like how many degrees of separation from Nancy was it? But it was a connection to Nancy. And that's what we're talking about tonight. And since you said you're a CNA, certified nursing assistant, and are you saying that that's your theory? Or do you feel strongly, or do you know something? That's my curiosity.
Well, I think she's, in her opinion, she's saying that she's a CNA and she knows a lot about the caregivers that run in
And
and out
that's
of
what
these
she feels
homes.
like.
And not that a caregiver would do that, but they talk about their patients probably at home. Go, oh, this poor lady can barely get around. And then the evil person's like, really? And she has a nice house. I mean, she's got a beautiful
Well,
home,
look at what
right?
happened to my grandma. My grandmother's hands got so swollen at the end that she couldn't wear her mother's ring that she always wore on her pinky. She couldn't wear her wedding ring anymore. And she couldn't wear certain bracelets because they were bangles and her hands were so swollen. So my grandfather was a woodworker and he made her this beautiful jewelry stand that she could put her rings on and put her bracelets on and see them by her bedside. And I was in my early 20s at the
Bad
time.
idea.
I wish I thought about it being maybe something he shouldn't. And I said it to my grandfather. I said, "Does that make you nervous that you have it out?" And he goes, "No, all these people are checked through the certified nursing home, people that they bring in here." Um, but it was a certified nursing assistant that actually took it. And she stopped showing up after that. They said that she quit. I mean, we had no way of tracking her, and she lost all of her precious pieces. So I don't like ever thinking that somebody would do something like that. However, I know that it can happen because it happened to our family. So
Everyone
what
that
did he
said
say?
hello. And Jaylene. Okay.
Jaylee. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Jaylene, if I missed it. You guys, the chat is so small on this screen, and I have to look over here, and it's going by kind of quickly. So I apologize if I miss anybody saying hi and or being ornery, Jaylene. I'm sure you're being
Yeah.
ornery. Last time she said unsubscribe.
But don't do that. We need you to subscribe, hit the like button right now, please. And look, Wednesday nights, I mean, look, Jim, we only have like 100 people or whatever.
I
It's
know.
because we come on early in Wednesday nights because we're making our plans and getting our snacks ready and for Patriot Pride to come on at 9 o'clock Central Time, right?
Yep,
Or wait, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 Eastern.
correct for
And
Patriot
again,
Pride.
it is
So
your job to start watching streams with all of us that are on topics other than Nancy Guthrie because you
it's your
guys,
job.
well, I mean, seriously, collectively, the you guys are smart. I mean, you've
Yep.
really come up with
You
you.
should see the emails that I get. They're awesome. So I'm being good, she said. Good, thank you.
So do your job, go to the other streamings, especially tonight, Patriot Pride, and listen to what he's saying, what they need help figuring it out too. We all do. We're just, what do you call it? When you go to a breakout group, there's someone who's kind of in charge of it. I feel like that's what we are. We're just trying to get all the information and put it into a nice, easy format for people to figure out and read and
Yeah.
come back to you with it organized and then talk about it more. And we're going to get to the bottom of this. And when I say we, I mean, as a nation, as well, it's international now. Well, I had to learn some country codes yesterday to be able to get Jen on an interview. So there's a little
Anyway,
drop of what could be coming. It's a pretty
anyway,
big deal. What are you afraid I'm going to say too much?
I don't know.
Does that ever happen?
It just makes me nervous. Anyway, this whole thing makes me nervous what we're doing, but I think it's going to be really good. I think you guys are going to be happy when you see the information. So be sure and hit the like button, notifications, and subscribe because you guys are going to want to see this one. So let's see. April, another 84-year-old missing according to another streamer. What's happening in Tucson? I know we saw that. I don't know. It does make you wonder. And the fact that I think Pima County came out and said it's unrelated, which makes me go back to how do you know that when you keep telling us that you don't know what happened? So we have to trust that they are keeping the information regarding Mrs. Guthrie very close to the vest, very locked down, because they have to in order to get a proper prosecution and bring somebody to justice. They've got to lock this down. I think they had way too much leaked in the beginning. And I think we all know that Nanos is like, should not play poker. Let's just put it that way. All right, next.
Oh, where were we?
We already did the backpack. So the next one.
Oh, okay.
So, what could a stranger learn by observing the property for just one evening? We know for sure that there was reconnaissance on January 11th or around January 11th, which I find interesting because She technically disappeared on a Saturday night overnight. We call it in the middle of the night. It was early morning of the 1st of February, correct? So if you look at this, January 11th is a Sunday. So I'm assuming that this is also the early mornings of January 11th on a Sunday, which she disappeared on the early morning hours of a Sunday as well. So to me, this was absolutely reconnaissance to find out what her pattern of life was around those hours. Like, did she get up in the middle of the night like some people do? And, get medications, get water. I know plenty of people that get up in the middle of the night and have to take certain medications, or they have bathroom duties in the middle of the night because they can't last all night. So I just have pretty strong feelings that there was something going on with that. The other thing that I think is, I just saw that Army Vet said camera blind spots. Absolutely. And I know that I saw somebody else, I think it was Analyze That Doug, said, why do we not have any other thumbnails from before? That's going to be my question over and over and over again. Stop talking about the fact that you couldn't get anything because it was recording over or there was jammers involved. You absolutely, Nanos, came out and told us that there were images before the event and after the event. Why would those be something that we couldn't see? Why could we not see police showing up or family showing up? I'm still confused by that. I know that Brian said, why do you need to know that? Because I do. I want to see what was happening. I want to see Nancy coming home. I want to see her lights come on from cameras in the backyard. I want to see that, oh, she got into her bedroom that night. I mean, I feel like there's certain things that would not harm the investigation for us to know, but apparently I'm not a detective. I don't know. Maybe that is something they have to keep quiet. Having said that, why was Nancy in a home with at least 3 to 4 cameras that we know of and zero information about communication that there was somebody lurking? I got an alert.
Yeah.
Glenn and I have talked about this. We do not have every single camera with a Nest. We have a lot of cameras that are not like Nest type cameras, or, what's the other one? Ring. But we have other cameras and we for sure get alerts and we for sure check them out.
Do you want to know something?
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm raising my voice. I'm very frustrated.
Yeah, tonight's your night. I can relax.
Okay.
So our vehicle
Oh, yeah.
did an update, new vehicles. Well, not new, just vehicles that are not 20 years old. They're smart now. So today we're driving home and all of a sudden it tells me it did an alert or an update. And I look down and now we get camera alerts on one of the screens in our vehicle.
Yep.
And you can hit it and it'll actually tell you, the voice comes on and says, somebody was at your front gate. Because these newer cameras, they literally have what they call AI. I don't know if it's AI, but we talked about this. It says, well, it calls me the old man at the gate. So that camera's gone. But the new camera will say, person with dog. I mean, it even tells you, or animal, or it'll say person in blue shirt with black shoes. Like, it literally gives you alerts like that now.
Are you going to tell them what it said about when it saw you getting the mail?
That's what I just said. Old man at gate or whatever.
But did you say it was you?
Yeah. Well, that camera's gone, buddy.
He was pissed. It was hilarious.
The funny thing is, it was me walking away. How does it?
Gun. What the hell? Sorry, it was so funny. And he was legit mad. And you did replace that camera, didn't you?
The camera's gone.
The camera's gone.
That AI didn't work.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if it.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it really was.
But we were saying that somebody actually, I think it was, maybe it was Rammer Jammer or Mab. Somebody said last time, I agree, get good cameras. The most expensive camera is not that expensive. Well, I mean, I don't know how to say that, but like of these cameras, the Nest type cameras, the ones you can, we have some that are 4G. You don't have to have anything connect to them. They're solar and 4G. and it's like $4 or $5 a month for the 4G service. You can put a chip in it if you don't want to pay for the cloud service. We have chips and clouds on everything, and it's not very much a month. And I don't know, I'm under $50 a month for all of the cameras we've got, which sounds like, oh my gosh, but I
Well,
mean,
when you're
sleep at
talking
night.
about the mother of Savannah Guthrie, who now through a lot of the conversations that we've watched on other streamers, they talked about FBI that has actually been involved with NBC over the
Yeah,
years. What's his name? Jim Fitzgerald. And I think they call him Fitz for short. But
Jim
anyway,
Fitzgerald. Yeah,
he has talked openly about the fact that he helped with past cast members of the Today Show and their stalking and some other things. He said he won't talk about who it was, but it was a female, and how they all have a security team that discusses this about their family, the risks involved. One of my very best friends, her husband does security for a famous family. And he has done this for dignitaries throughout his career. And right now he's doing it for a famous family. And we talked about that, or I did with him. I asked him some questions a while back before all of this happened and said, "How does that work?" And he said, "You kind of have to anticipate a lot of different scenarios, from vacations to we go ahead of time and check their lodging." So, having said that, I'm really kind of surprised with Savannah visiting Tucson in November that there wasn't some conversation from her security team about the potential of opening up a proverbial can of worms for security issues with her mother in Tucson. I really am kind of surprised by that, you guys. And I'm hoping I can get in touch with him and maybe he'll come on and talk to us about that and what his thoughts are. So Tippy, if you're watching, I need to borrow your husband for a night. But for interviewing about this case, it's just incredible. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. When we get to audience talk, I want to hear what y'all think about it too. So the next slide,
well, we were
what? What did I miss?
just to round out the what could he learn by observing the property?
A lot of things.
A ton, a lot.
Well, that's what,
And
Army Vet was saying, the camera angles, the blind spots. Do any of her cameras reach that backyard area that over her, large brick wall is an open desert where somebody
yeah,
can, walk through there? Uh, So every camera angle on her home has a blind spot. We all know that. We try to get the most vulnerable spots of our properties with those cameras. Having said that, again, I'm going to question this over and over and over again. Why did you have 3 to 4 cameras exterior and 0 alerts or monitoring? And then you have a famous daughter who comes into town a few months prior, and her security team didn't go, your mom lives alone. We're talking about her being in Tucson, and why did you stay in Tucson? And
yeah.
you've made it very clear that your dad has been passed away for a number of years. I just, I really question the fact that there was never a conversation about alerting the public to her vulnerabilities. We already know that she had mobility issues. There's video of it multiple times. It just really concerns me that she wasn't more well protected, if nothing else, by a house alarm and her camera protection being monitored. It's very,
Mm.
I hate saying the word odd because I don't like judging other people, because we all have a family member that is extremely stubborn about certain things, your mom, and we get it, but there has to be the conversation at some point that is very uncomfortable. And I'm just really surprised with Savannah having a security team that this wasn't done. And maybe it was. Maybe we're all missing something. Maybe there was an alarm that was disarmed. Maybe somebody did disarm all the cameras besides walking up to it and going, "It's howdy doody time. It's howdy doody time," for like 2 minutes. and then dismantling the camera, but we're all supposed to believe there were jammers. And by the way, there was no photos before, or there's photos before and photos after, but nothing during. Hello, we've seen the during. We know there was during. I just feel like they all think we had too much lead at 10 and don't understand anything. We understand, and we're confused for a reason. So stop, your mom had the best word, infantilizing us and acting like we're idiots. So, and then coming on, we really need your help. Just
I'm still
for
back at
Christ's
the
sake.
CNA that says, she had home healthcare workers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've witnessed that with your grandparents. Home healthcare workers themselves were doing things that were horrible.
Well, hopefully they're
Imagine the
checking all that
families.
out. And if one of her healthcare workers had, people that were nefarious, again, this was not a fly by night operation. This was not an accident. This was not a drunk or drug induced moment. This was a planned operation. This had planning involved. So this has got to be somebody that has some sort of criminal background. I'm going to be extremely shocked on the floor, freaked out if somebody gets on the news and tells us this is really weird. This person had no criminal history. I'm gonna be shocked, but that's just my thought. So the next slide is
I don't know. What is it? Well, you did this is kind of interesting.
oh yeah, this is I just wanted to show him again. This is the night in question, which I'm now convinced that he may not be showing a backpack, but I'm convinced there's a duffel bag there. And I want all of you to go look at this still photo a lot more up close and personal, and look in his right hand, our left side of the screen. I really do think that that looks like a small duffel bag, tool bag. And part of me also is not convinced that while she was at this dinner with her family, that there wasn't somebody else already at her home, taking off the security lights, doing all of that reconnaissance again before she even showed up home. I'm not convinced of that. I'm not convinced that the porch guy, or as you call him, I think Inner Strength said that's it. We're calling him Bite Light Guy from now on. Bite Light Guy, you know, wasn't maybe just that. The Bite Light Guy, remove that one camera. That's all I need you to do. Get up there, remove the damn camera. Because maybe all of this was done by somebody else on the inside while he was removing that camera. I don't know. And I'm not convinced that there wasn't somebody else there before she got home. Anyway, so maybe that duffel bag was just that.
Yeah, he's not wearing it there, right? So
No, he's not wearing a backpack, but I don't think that's a backpack. I think that looks like one of those small, like your small little duffel bags, not even an overnighter bag. That looks like a toolkit bag to me. So I'm not convinced
something in
he's
his
not
right
holding that.
hand. Yeah, it looks like.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't know.
and again, it just makes you sick to your stomach. This person knew that she was 84. This person knew that she had mobility issues. This person knew that she was vulnerable and alone, and continued to come back and continue to move forward with this operation. So,
And then I noticed you've got what is it? The mask, and it's not a mask. It's a
oh,
yeah. I
the
mean, imagine
balaclava. I
that.
didn't grow up calling it that. I grew up calling it a ski mask, and I lived in
Imagine
Montana.
waking up to that. I mean,
No,
that's
it's
just
terrifying.
horrible.
It makes you want to throw up.
Well, that's why
It's awful.
we got to do our jobs and figure this out, and other cases too.
Yeah.
So tonight on Patriot Pride, you got to put your thinking cap on for that case also. Oh, Jen.
All right. Next graphic.
Let's see here. I'm still trying to get over that.
So this is something. Oh, thank you, Kevin. It said Kevin
Well,
became a
Kevin
member.
keeps subscribing and unsubscribing. I don't know what that is.
Oh, are you sure it's the same Kevin?
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw it the other day.
well, we appreciate you becoming a member again.
Somebody may think they're helping. I don't know.
I don't know. Well,
Doesn't
thank
work
you.
like that, I don't think.
So, what information would be nearly impossible to obtain without some connection? Has anybody else thought of this? I mean, in the audience, I know we've all thought about it, but I mean, like, really voiced it. Like, what information? I mean, if we take the emotions out of it, if we just look at the logical part of this case, and I know that's hard because obviously Glenn and I get very emotional about this,
What does that mean?
but what do you mean? What does what mean?
Impossible to obtain without some connection. What
In other
information?
words, so what that you sit across the street with your, long lens camera? So what that I mean, we don't know that this isn't some crazy, bizarre neighbor. So, what information from even say that's what I'm getting at. Say you were in the neighborhood and you knew her. You passed by her with your dog and said hi and you knew other neighbors that knew her. All of that's well and good, but there's certain information that you would not be able to claim from just a long range camera lens and walking your dog. Like, were there codes? I don't know. Did she have one of those keypad doors, where you had to, dial in the code to get in?
Maybe.
Um,
No, I don't
they're
think
not
I've seen
talking
that.
about forced entry or no forced entry. From my observation from the drone shots that we've seen over and over and over again at the back of her home, the front of her home, there doesn't look like any part of her doors was kicked in, door thresholds, ruined. I do know that they went in and changed doorknobs. That says to me that somebody had a freaking key. So my question has been, what information did they need to have that they could only get from, like she said, a certified nursing assistant or somebody that was inside the home, a family member, 3 degrees of separation from a gardener or the home health care worker or the housekeeper? It's any of that. What do you think would be the information that nobody else could get unless they knew somebody on the inside, some way, shape, or form?
I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it.
A lot of people have said that she had a safe. I've never heard that mentioned. I mean, I've gone in chats. I've looked for neighbors that have spoken out publicly. I've looked at church lady information. There was one that was speaking out in the beginning, and then they were asked to be quiet. I honestly think again that it's nothing nefarious. I don't think that the family's being rude, saying don't talk about it. I think the fear is that there's very little information that they have to go on from the inside of the home. And if you let out too much, then it's going to be very difficult to find this person and know it's for sure this person.
Yeah.
That's my thought. And Brew Crew, shoot, Beyond 50. I really do think that Judge Brewer is correct in that he said that we all basically, in a very polite way, but I'll translate. Y'all need to calm the hell down. They probably have a lot more information than they're sharing. That's my little Texas accent coming out there. I think we need to, all y'all need to calm down. They've got a lot
Yeah.
more information than they're telling us. And I think that the lockdown on friends and family is just that. Now, I'm not going to say, and I will not say that I don't, or that I understand why they're not saying, please help our friend. I don't understand that. I don't understand not giving interviews. I do understand telling the interviewee before we go on live, I'm not at liberty to discuss this, or this. So please don't ask those questions. However, I will tell you that we love Nancy to death. She was a good person, or things about Nancy that keep her in our sights and alive in our minds to keep her at the forefront, just like any other missing person. Those families would give anything to have people that were willing to keep talking about their loved one and keep their loved one in the limelight. That's just my theory. But
Yeah. And we're just showing different scenes of, we call it, I mean, in the business, it's called B-roll. The
in the
things we've had to do
business
recently.
for
So
2 weeks.
I don't know if you guys like that. If you don't like it, you can say so in the chat and we won't do it anymore. But we have lots of B-roll that we just play while we're bantering because somebody may see something in one of those little clips and go, "Hey, wait a minute, I just noticed something." Because that's happened. Well, even the other night with Adam with the shadows and
Right.
porch guy video, which now I keep watching it, going, "How does it do that?" But it could just be a camera confusion with lighting with the camera light. I don't know. Like it has an internal, you know, night infrared that switches under conditions. I mean, walked away. I don't know. But anyway, that was something. So all these little B-roll things are just to kind of, you know, look at something
Has
besides
anybody said
my
anything in
face.
the chat, Glenn, that you could see that Bonnie?
Yeah,
Come
it's
on, go
pretty
ahead. Come on.
active. What's funny is it's just now 7:55, and usually that's why I keep
Oh,
harping. Oh,
she's blind. She just hit her head on this.
the
Jeez.
we were on at 7 on Wednesdays.
Okay.
So look at 7:55.
Say
And all
hi.
of a
You
sudden,
and your
look,
messy
went from
self.
110 to 137 because
Yeah.
it's almost 8 o'clock. So at 8 o'clock, we'll have a bunch more people jump in, I think. That happened last
Right.
Wednesday. So
Well,
anyway,
okay. So Maga Mama, I can see yours. It said the front camera wasn't an afterthought because of Jeff's dogs. I think they already had everything done by the time he reached the front camera. I feel strongly about that too. There are two lights above the porch,
the front
said
doormat,
Lynn.
yeah, that's very.
And Cindy Lou, what kills me is they did not get the front doormat. They just left it there. I know. But what do you think? Okay, gang, T's front. This is Debbie Niner fan. Front pockets are empty. Just saw them. He came down when he came down. In the one video where his pockets were full when he was at Nancy's alone, had full what? When he left in a hurry. I know that was weird. But you know, whatever. Maybe he had a bunch of keys or things they were taking. I try not to think too much into it, but
What do we
can
got
I pet
here?
that dog? Oh, she would love it. She's like
Maybe the
ridiculous.
cameras that were to make her feel safe so she doesn't get over the protective and makes her easier target, a false sense of
This
security.
is true.
Yeah,
Which goes
because
back
what
to
about the
why were they
porch?
not being monitored?
Well, yeah, he was there a couple weeks earlier, and there's a pic still on her camera system, and she never did anything about it. If she never, probably never saw it.
Which is why I'm crying foul that they don't have more, images. They keep saying, oh, well, they erase each other. Well, they got that image, and we know it's from January 11th. She didn't disappear till the night of January 31st into the 1st. That seems a little strange that they were able to get that, but not others. I'm always checking my cameras. I'm so afraid if there was ever a fire, I don't want my critter stuck in the house and I hear a siren, drop
Yeah.
whatever. Yep. I don't know.
Yes.
Just very strange. I just wondered if anybody else thought, did Analyze That Doug say something earlier that I missed?
I don't know. He's got
We
yeah,
fired
TV coming up.
certified nursing assistants and other stuff. I mean, it happens. You don't want to believe that it happens, but it happens. So
Oh yeah, that's what we're
Jim
talking
broke
about.
his thumb. What happened?
You're getting ahead, Jen.
Jim, sorry. I'm trying to see all this. Okay, let's see.
I cannot stand a thief or a liar. Yeah, tell me.
Right.
Or
And
somebody that
then,
hurts little children or the elderly or
yeah,
critters. I
that's
don't
exactly
like
right. The
people.
most vulnerable. It's ridiculous. So, what did Army vet say or analyze? Analyze that, Doug. It's possible that Nancy didn't want the security, including cameras, and could have been installed to appease her kids, unlock doors, unpaid subscriptions. Was APS actually there for kids or assessment? Okay, so the Adult Protective Services, I did find that out. That is a standard procedure in Arizona and I guess a lot of other places that when there is an alert about a missing person, an adult, especially the elderly, that they come out and they try to assist the family with any help. So they left their card. That is a standard procedure in case there's walkaways or anything like that that they let the family know that they're there to assist in any way. So apparently that's common practice. So that was not anything nefarious. There wasn't something because they got an alert days before about elder abuse or anything like that. So that was good for me to hear because I too was concerned about that as well. So that I do know. And then let's see, just a few days ago, mid-July, Dutch intelligence and NATO security agencies issued important alert to Russian state-backed hackers. Oof. Yikes. I don't know. Very interesting. Yeah, it does look like he's holding something. I think he's holding a bag of some kind, and it looks like one of those small tool bags that, excuse me, we have a friend of ours that used to work on vehicles, and he had that small duffel bag that had tools in it for working on vehicles. It was
Yeah,
like a go bag of sorts. It was just kind of interesting.
it's Army vet. They're not hacking sophisticated cloud backends. They are targeting cheap internet exposed cameras. That's true. They're not the most sophisticated cameras, especially Chinese made brands.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
I don't know. I'm still just trying to figure it out. I still think that there was someone on the inside, and maybe, like that other person said, maybe it was somebody like a healthcare worker that gave inside information about what her habits are. I know there's been rumors about her leaving her doors unlocked. I just, I've got to tell you, I know enough elderly people that it's part of their nightly routine, especially when they live alone. And I know my grandparents did it. I know my grandmother did it religiously, especially when my grandfather was out of town. I just, I, I, I really strongly believe she locked her doors. She'd lived alone for many years without a husband, without a man in the home. My friends, we talk about it. Sometimes when you have a man in the home, you become complacent. Like they're the ones that always do the door checks at night. So you forget to do said door checks. Kind of like when you're the one that always feeds the kids at a certain time and you leave them home alone with people that aren't always the one that feed them at a certain time. They may forget.
so this is
It's,
for
it's
Doris.
life patterns.
You're right, Doris. We were talking about that earlier. You can see it clearly. Well, I mean, how clearly, but his right hand left on the screen, down below his black gloved hand, you can
So
see
sorry.
something that comes into his right thigh, the left thigh on the screen. So yeah, I mean,
I think there's something there. I think he's holding something. Yeah.
I'll let you look at that for a minute while we scroll for the yeah, that's
Jim, I'm so sorry you hurt yourself. I still didn't see what happened.
well,
I
he
hope you
can't
feel
type.
better. I know.
I'm
Well,
just
he
kidding.
can't
I'm
type.
sure
I think someone
you
said,
can hunt and peck with your other
yikes.
fingers.
And then the last, was that the last? I think I had one more graphic after that, wasn't it?
No,
After the, what did somebody know?
no.
Okay.
It was the connection you wanted to know.
I do, I do strongly feel that there was some familial connection or somebody that worked in the home's connection or outside of the home. I still think it would have to be somebody inside the home that would know a heck of a lot more about her life patterns, or did she go to dinner every Saturday night at Annie, at A&T's? I mean, is that something that she did? Or was Saturday night like her night out, whether it was with family or a really good friend to do a night of games? Did she always take an Uber on those nights? There's just a lot about the fact that I don't think it's a coincidence that the reconnaissance was also on an early part of a Sunday morning and she was taken in the early hours of a Sunday morning. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Me neither.
There's something about Saturday nights that was a pattern for her. And
Well, yeah, like you pointed
maybe
out, it's Sunday, both of them, right?
I mean, maybe there's a possibility, y'all, that she didn't come home Saturday nights. Maybe that was her night to spend the night at families. I mean, we don't know. I mean, I think that's,
There's
but I
just
don't
so
think it's a
much.
coincidence that she was taken on a Sunday night and the reconnaissance was also on January 11th, which was a Sunday night. That's just my opinion.
Well, look, it's a lot
So
of people's.
let's take some calls.
They most definitely have more. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
There's
Can you put up our link?
gets more frustrating by the minute, doesn't it? Oh, the link to call in.
Yeah.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
What'd you do? Did we disappear?
Interview. Okay.
Also, Glenn noticed in these,
Welcome to
be real.
Oh, what
Oh,
are you
Jiminy
doing?
Christmas! These B roll videos that you can see the satellite, or not satellite. What am I trying to say? Shoot, what are the sunlight things called? You mentioned it. You said that is a for the camera.
Solar panel.
Solar panel, for crying out loud. This is not a good night. I needed more caffeine. I apologize.
You're good. We got this. All
Okay,
right.
Glen's putting up the link. Thank you, Jaylene, for laughing because I just feel like an idiot right now. I'm like, the sunlight thing. Yeah, it was not the sunlight thing. It was the solar panel, for crying out loud. Give me a minute. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for giving us grace tonight. I'm telling
Jim,
you,
you're not allowed to be hurt.
it looked like something out of the Bionic Woman and the jumping over the sofa. Quick, we're late. Do we get the link up?
Yep.
Okay, please, somebody call in.
Well, there's.
I'm hoping that Eric's in here tonight
It's
too.
Wednesday night. It's tough because I don't know. Early Wednesdays, it's hump day, midweek.
Well, and it's around dinner time for some people too.
And Patriot Pride comes on, and if you want, you got to be prepped for that.
Well, we would love for somebody to call in and talk to us. And Eric, if you're in the chat or listening, we would love for you to call in. Eric is a local in Tucson that had some interesting information about the searches with Nancy Guthrie, and he used to work for the BLM, and he had some information about the mines in the area. And I know somebody in the chat last time was like, why are we talking about the mines? I don't understand. I think there's a lot of questions about the desert and how you would conceal someone that was unalived and what you would do with them. And unfortunately, what a lot of people don't realize is that the desert is the desert. The ground is like concrete. They're saying that you actually have to have dozers to move any kind of dirt. And so there is no quote unquote burying. So it came up a couple times in our comments and in our emails, which again, we are so grateful for. Thank you so much for subscribing. Those of you that have subscribed and have become very, openly communicating with us through emails and comments. We really appreciate it because we got some good information. And it says they can't find the link. Doris Townsend said she couldn't find the link.
I'll put it up there again.
Yeah, we'll put it up again and look for it. It's a link that you'll click on. And it's, as long as you have Wi-Fi, you can click on that and you can decide whether to...
Just internet.
Or internet, I mean. And you can just, turn off the camera if you don't want, but make sure that your microphone is on. And if you're watching the TV, that your volume is down because that causes echoes.
Jim is here and Jaylene is here. So
yay.
Get them brought in.
But those mines apparently have been used in the past, unfortunately, by criminals to dispose of unalived people. And so I looked it up today, and there's over 200 abandoned mines in Arizona. It's unbelievable. Hi, Jim.
There he is. What did you do to your thumb?
Guys.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Hello?
There you are.
How y'all doing?
Well, apparently better than you are.
Goodness, what happened?
Yeah.
Don't tell me you're out like looking at mines or something and got your finger hurt.
No. Slammed my thumb in the car door. I mean, completely shut on it.
Oh.
And I had a flat tire this morning, and I had the plug-in pump that pumps the tire up so I could get to the tire shop. And I had that going, and a car was coming flying down the street, and so I went to shut the door just a little bit, and it slammed shut, and my thumb just happened to be inside the driver's side door.
Was it windy?
A little bit, not bad though.
But probably enough that it caught.
It helped push the door shut, and it slammed on my thumb.
Shoot.
I had to open the door to get my thumb out. So I went to the emergency room because it kept getting worse and worse, kept swelling, and immediately as soon as I opened the car door, the thumbnail was turning black.
Oh,
and
Jim,
so
I'm
they
so sorry.
They took a hot needle and stuck it into the nail to poke a hole in it. Burn
Those
a hole
with
in it.
squeamish stomachs.
Yeah.
You
trigger
forget you're a
warning.
first responder. You're used to it.
And so after they released that blood that was building up under the nail, it felt some better, but it's still throbbing like crazy.
I'm so
So
sorry. And that's
I
going to
got it
take a
in
while.
a metal splint.
Oh wow, you really did get
Oh,
it.
shoot.
Yeah. When I
So
do things,
Jaylene's
I
on,
do it
but she's
right.
muted herself.
Oh,
Uh oh.
Jaylene, what's going on?
Probably on purpose. She
Someone
just wanted to-
said, let's see, Gladys Kravitz
I
said, I
did.
just tuned in. Have you guys already covered the missing footage? Missing footage. Oh, yeah, we did. We talked about that there's no doubt probably missing footage that we have not seen and won't see for obvious reasons, I think. That's my feeling. I feel like there is footage out there. Jaylene, where are you?
We're
Oh,
here.
Shauna, sorry to hear that.
Oh, now we can hear her.
Yeah, Jaylene has unmuted herself.
That's because my son had his phone all the way up.
I'm gonna turn it up.
Yeah, we need, I can't hear you. Hold on. Glenn's turning you up. I can't hear it. What'd you say?
Of course. I said my son had his phone all the way up.
Oh,
So
hear the games in the background. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, Shauna. I hope you feel better, and I'm glad you're listening. We love hearing from you. Shauna said that she's had a rough day today. She was planning on calling in, but it's not feeling so hot. So, well, what do y'all think about the reconnaissance? Do you think that they would have had to have had an inside person to tell them some things? I think that's probably the biggest question I have.
They had to.
Probably.
What about you, Jaylene?
I said they had to have.
Okay. Why do you think that? Jaylene?
Because everything's so hush hush anymore.
You mean just like privacy things? It's hush hush
Mhm.
or what?
Yeah.
So you think they would have had to have somebody on the inside to know like what codes or what?
Mhm. You know what, Glenn?
I knew that would get her going. Come on.
Jeez.
Glenn, you're going to trigger her, then you're going to pay for it.
That's all right. We like triggering her.
Jeez.
But if it went for her, I'd be very dehydrated.
Yes, this is true.
Will you give him some water?
I know. Bless his heart. What do you think, Jim? Do you think there had to be somebody on the inside? Because I think some people think they could have just done some reconnaissance, here and there and been able to, glean whatever they needed and to be able to pull this off.
Nah, I think it was an inside job.
Okay.
I think it was somebody on the inside, definitely.
Okay.
I still think family's involvement, some way, shape, or form. Maybe not directly, but some way they're involved in it.
So you think it's maybe a financial thing, or where they just didn't want to have to take care of her, or what do you think?
Well, I was listening to another chat when I was coming in from the emergency room, and I heard something that I didn't realize. There was evidently a video, and I haven't seen that video. Y'all may have seen it and know what they're talking about. Where that T came out of the house and his pockets was bulging
I did see
with.
that.
Did you? Okay, I hadn't seen that video that they were talking about. And you know how bills look in a stack. They're oblonged. And it said to look like that. His pockets was stuffed full of
Oh, geez.
what they think was cash. And on this video, they said that, and now they're in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So, well,
How
that's
do
true or
people
not,
know that? How do
I
people
don't
know that
know.
they're in Italy?
I have no idea.
There's actually pictures of Tommaso and T and A uh, in the background of this one picture of a supposed family member. Um, they're in the background of it in Italy. Uh,
And it's time stamped, like you know that it's like.
it was taken July 4th, I think.
Well, then
Yeah,
to
that
me
was.
that says the law enforcement doesn't think it's them because I don't think they would be allowed to leave the country.
I don't know.
But
They're
they were
not under
cleared.
arrest, so I don't
I don't
know that
think they
they
could
could
make them
stop
do
them
that.
from leaving.
That would have created a whole
They were
new news
cleared.
cycle if they did that.
Well, that's why I'm curious though, because I know that when people are being looked at, they're like, don't leave the country. Like they're not under arrest.
But I don't think going to
Or is that
Italy,
just TV?
if they went to Italy, it's not like you can get away there because we have an agreement. I mean, they're not going to, you'd have to go to a country that would not turn you over.
Right.
I
Italy
guess.
will
Yeah.
do what we tell them to do, I would think.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I
Hopefully.
guess I don't know enough about it. I would think that if you were detained and like that lawyer said for Carlos, he said he is released to a certain degree or cleared to a certain amount, to a certain degree. And he said that in the interview. So I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, would those people be allowed to leave?
I don't know. Here's a
I don't
very
know.
interesting comment.
Okay. Jolene Pope. Also on Ashley's show, she had a Spanish speaker write what a Spanish speaker would say to convey the gist in the second ransom note. She put it through Google Translate and got perished and buried. I
In
did
nature.
in nature. I did see that. And it's interesting because I think a lot of us, I mean, I've seen a lot of you in other chats, and I think a lot of us have said, are we convinced that that note wasn't some sort of a translation by Google Translate or something else into English? I think a lot of us have thought that. I don't, so that was very interesting to me that she actually did try to reproduce it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Savannah left for work to the UK. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Savannah is, look, these people,
Well, we know Savannah probably didn't do anything.
I mean, these people are allowed to take vacations. They're allowed to go do things. And I don't think anybody's, we're not accusing anybody of anything. It just would be, it's interesting to me because this is where the law part of this is something I don't understand some of it.
Italians wear fashionable glasses.
Wear fashionable glasses.
I mean, she's being serious about her
Yeah.
topic. It just made me laugh. If
Did
they were cleared, they could
Did you
skip.
see Adam's show? Did you see Adam's show on Sunday night?
Yes.
You remember the guy that they called the tall chef that has the same last name
Yes.
as Mr. T?
That really is interesting.
That restaurant picture was, I think, what Jaylene's talking about, and it sure looked like TNA was in that background of that picture.
Absolutely. I did see that. I didn't, I
And
was listening, but I wasn't in intensely listening to dates or times or what somebody said about it. So did they discuss it on there that they believe that was recent?
they believe it was around 4th of July, and I think that's what Jaylene's talking about. Is that correct, Jaylene?
Okay. She's yelling at her kid. I
Jaylene
think.
has muted herself because she's probably taking care of something.
Yeah. Just,
I'm yelling at the kids.
There she
what did you
is.
say?
I'm yelling at the kids.
I recognize it. I've been there, done that. So it's fine. It's like I'm on the phone. So don't you always mimic Pee Wee Herman with that?
Debbie, Niner fan. Yay.
Yeah.
Look at the video where Savannah, A, and T are walking
To the memorial.
to the memorial. T's front. Oh, yeah, that's the same.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. Well, what do you think about the reconnaissance? Do either one of you find it odd that we've been told multiple times that there were multiple cameras, exterior and interior? We've also been told multiple times that, that she got the cameras for looking at wildlife, all these things. And I guess for me, it goes back to Savannah with her security team coming to Tucson, going out to lunch with her mom, doing all these things. That do any of you think that there was at one point, somebody that said something like, we're putting your mom at risk here? I'm just kind of, I don't know. Did Jayleen leave? I don't see a camera now.
That's why Cameron made this statement that he made that triggered everybody. When he said that, she says, when he said it was an abduction, and she said, well, you don't think it was my fault, do you? And he looked right at Savannah and said, yes. And that's what he was talking about, was because she put her mother out there. You know,
Oh,
anybody with half a brain would know better to do that with an 84-year-old lady that lived by herself. I know I wouldn't have done that to my mom. I think it was poor judgment. That's what he was saying to her when he said that. And a lot of people didn't realize what he meant, but I knew exactly what he meant, and I agree with him 100%. Yeah, it was probably her fault. Because anybody that had a scoop with NBC or with her personally might have tried to take it out on her mother. But I don't think it's outside source that done this. I think it's family involved. Really, I've felt this way since day one, and my opinion hasn't changed on that at all. I ain't
I
saying they
just,
had direct involvement, but they had some involvement.
what do you think the motive was then for that? If
Money,
that's who you think it was, just money?
yeah.
Because a
You
lot of
follow
people
the
feel
money,
like there's no money there. I've heard many people say this. They're like, first of all, you'd have to be able to declare her deceased legally to be able to obtain, any income from the sale of the home. I just, I'm curious what you think about that.
Well, they said that in special circumstances that you don't have to wait to 5 years and all that stuff in Arizona. It might have been Adam that looked this up. That if there's special circumstances, well, we know that she was abducted from the house, or that's what we've been told. We know that she was bleeding when she left the house because her blood was there, and the DNA proved that it was her blood. So that would be special circumstances for them to declare her dead without waiting 5 years to do it.
Yeah, that's interesting. So Lynn is saying another woman was assaulted
In the middle
in
of the
the middle of
night.
the
We were
night
talking
in
about that earlier.
Tucson.
Yeah. I mean, this goes back
Yeah,
to all those videos of these porch guys that they all are lurkers looking in and out of these people's homes, and they're all within 3 to 5 miles of Nancy Guthrie's home. Could this just have been another one that went further? But then I think those guys they're looking for, those are burglars,
right.
lurkers looking to take something. And again, this crime's, finished and nothing was taken. So we I feel like take burglary off the list. And he had something in his backpack to, unfortunately, looks like take a body out of the house if it's a tarp.
Do you have a TV on or something in the background?
Me?
Yes.
No.
Oh, we were hearing a weird little echo there. I wasn't sure what was going on.
I have a ceiling fan running. You may cut that off.
No, no, I don't think it's the ceiling fan. No, leave it on. I know how hot it is. So, um, no, I'm just, I wonder now with the, oops, do you hear it?
Yeah, listen.
So I wonder now with the being unalived and the accounting, I've heard different things. I've heard the 5 years, and then I've heard if you meet certain criteria, like you said, that it could be a lot sooner, that the judge could then, declare her deceased, and things could move a lot faster with that. I don't know. I guess some people are saying, I've also heard Dr. Bricado talk about the fact that at times when this happens in families, that it has nothing to do with anything except to just get them out of the way because they're tired of taking care of them, which is so horrible. But I know that it doesn't always have to be a clear financial motive, but very interesting. Wow.
Very interesting. Hang on a second. We gotta
put him back on. Okay.
Hearing the echo.
Yeah, there's some sort of echo all of a sudden coming out of the sound.
You want me to again?
Yeah, maybe try that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
See you in a second.
All right. Bye.
Sorry, peoples.
Thank you, Jeff. You just subscribed. Thank you, Jeff, for subscribing. We appreciate it. I was hoping that Eric was going to call in tonight.
So we have 145 people. This is about where we were last Wednesday at 8:30.
Oh.
All right. Let's see if this works again.
Hit the like and subscribe, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's get Jim back in the room. Go to the panel.
How many likes do we have?
121, which is a high percent for the amount of people that are in here. But
so there's 143 people.
20 people more could hit the like button, and it won't hurt you.
We would really appreciate it. Thanks, Jim, for coming back in. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
I think I saw Sikorsky just said, I can still hear it. Is there an iPad on?
No, I've got nothing on.
Well, it wasn't doing it. It just started. That's really weird.
That's weird.
Let me cut this ceiling fan off. Hang on just a second, guys.
Do you think it would be the ceiling fan?
No, I hear like our voice a few seconds later, but there it just stopped, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you hear it now?
No, you're crystal clear like it was before.
Yeah.
Must be the ceiling fan. That's
Somebody's
the only thing I've got on.
Jaylene, so
Jaylene she came in just to drop some sort of virus and leave.
She jinxed me. She's laughing at me because I smashed my thumb because she cut her toes the other night.
Thank you, the Bear Pantry.
Or something left a hammer down, and she injured her foot real bad. So I told her we were a matched pair now.
Thank you. That's fun. Golly.
Fingers and toes.
Two of you hobbling through life right now. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You don't realize how much you use your thumb until you can't use it.
And of course, it's on my right thumb, and I'm right-handed.
Oh,
and I came out of the emergency room after they put the splint on there, and you go to pull the car, to push the car button in to pull the door open. I'm like, God dang it. I have to do everything left-handed,
Analyze that. Doug said that's what a wiretap sounds like, the noises you were doing. That's funny.
Yeah, FBI's listening.
And then Army Vet said, if the kidnappers think they are just playing a game with Pima County, the moment a call goes to someone like Mark Kelly, a U.S. Senator with ties to federal infrastructure. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just really weird to me that Savannah would call him.
The only thing I can think of is that she's from Arizona. She used to be on Court TV. I think she maybe had become friends with them, he and his wife. So maybe she thought that he might have some clout in helping them get the FBI in sooner. That was my only thought. And then, because, it wasn't too long after that, Trump came on and said, we've got the FBI going. And so maybe he did have something to do with it. I'll be honest with you. I didn't realize that there would be an inappropriateness to doing that until I saw Chris on the interview room, and he was like, when have you ever seen this to any other law enforcement? And they were like, never. I mean, you don't want that. And then I realized that was inappropriate after he said it. It was like, I didn't realize. I mean, I think all of us would hope that if we had a family member that was missing, that we could make a phone call and the powers that be could just, descend on your property and help you find your loved one. So I didn't fault anybody for asking for that help, nor was I upset that the help came. Having said that, I understand that now that wasn't appropriate and can cause major issues.
Well, Kash Patel said that he offered to help on day one. And No Brains told him no, that they didn't need him, that they had it controlled. And then, he up and, said that there wasn't any, this guy talks in circles. He says one thing one time, and then one time he said that the house was immaculate, that there was no evidence inside of anything had happened. And then the next
Right.
time he said mass, it was a mess and there was blood everywhere. And that's why he called in homicide from, right off the bat. Because within hours they had notified, they turned it over to homicide. Well, if the house was immaculate and there was only a few drops of blood out there on the front steps, why would you assume there'd been a homicide? See, none of this stuff makes any sense.
Well, that's why I called Preston. So much like you were an EMT firefighter, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's what our son Preston does. And I said, would you automatically go to a homicide? And he goes, no. He goes, it looked like, she may have had a bloody nose or something, like something happened. I mean, for all we know, she tried to open the door and the door slammed her in the face and she's on blood thinners.
Right.
He said, we
Well,
don't know how heavy that, screen door is. Does it have an automatic closer on it? We don't know.
the older we get, the thinner our skin gets. And
Yeah.
even me now, I'm
Oh,
gonna be
somebody joined us?
I'm gonna be 69 in November. And
Oh, wow.
Charlie up on me because he wants to play and wrestle because he's young. And the other day, it looked like I'd been run over by a bulldozer. My arm and stuff was all like what I call blood bruises. My grandmother used to get those real easy too. She'd bump her arm against the door facing or something, and she could rip the skin open and start bleeding. And if you notice in some of those pictures of Nancy, she had a bandage on her arm.
Yep.
Those had those what I call blood bruises on her arms. And I told my brother, I said, I'm gonna have to quit fighting Charlie. I said, because he keeps winning. He won't let me win no fight. And my brother, this was when I was down in South Carolina a couple weeks ago. My brother saw my arm and he said, damn, looks like you've been in a fight. And I said, yeah, I have with him. He won't let
Oh
me
my
win one.
gosh. Who do we have that just joined us?
Miss Kravitz.
Hi, Gladys.
I promise I won't talk so long tonight. I don't want to call too much, but I thought, well, I'll
No,
call.
we love when you
I had to
call.
turn off. Well, I had to turn off my YouTube to get on the link,
Oh,
um,
okay.
or something. I wasn't able to get on. But am I echoing too?
No, I think you're
No,
fine.
it's Jim's is starting to do it again. So I just lowered his mic a little bit and it kind of comes and goes. I'm
I
not sure
was,
what that is. It looks like he's just on his
yeah.
phone, so it shouldn't be anything on his end. Maybe something on our end,
But no,
but
you're fine. What do you think about what we presented tonight? Do you have any thoughts?
Um, well, I don't think there was a recon. I think it was. Well, I kind of jumped in late, so I might be missing the thing. But I think it was. I don't know if it was targeted or not. I think the whole porch thing was a ruse set up either way before or way after, and it was just a distraction that really set everybody in another direction for, I mean, months. And still, um, I don't know. I was curious about. I don't know. I just think there's a lot more to this, and I was curious about who Cash thinks erased the video footage that he was talking about on
He kind
what,
of
Monday or
insinuated
Tuesday.
that it wasn't that it was erased, that that's what it does. Like if you don't have a subscription, that it like writes over itself. It's kind of like it kind of reminded me of the answering machines back in the day. Like if you didn't erase all the messages, that over time the new messages would write over the old messages. So that's what it sounded like. And the
But
recon
I
that we were
wondered if he
talking
was.
about was Google came out and then Nanos came out and confirmed it. And then they said, well, we're not really sure. But then Google retracted it. But Google did say that that still image with no backpack was from January 11th. So that was the only real timestamp that we got beyond the original night, which would have been a Sunday morning, early morning as well. They didn't give us a time on it, but it was January 11th, and that's why they were asking all the neighbors in A&T's neighborhood as well as Nancy's for any footage from January 11th.
Right, but we haven't actually seen the timestamp still, right?
Well, no, but when they originally released all the footage from the porch
Right.
guy, that was one
Yeah.
that was a standout. And a lot of people mentioned that were just astute, that you'll notice that you can't really see the yard behind him like you can in the video, which alerted people like me and Glenn that have videos like that, cameras on land where we had a farm, that you know that that's a different night because of the way the moonlight is. So to me, immediately I went, that's a different night. And then they eventually came out and said
Oh, yeah.
it was January 11th.
Yeah, I don't believe that though until I see a time. Why is the timestamp not on it? I mean, that was taken off, I think, for a reason. Um, I,
Potentially.
Sure be easy to leave it on.
Yeah. Who else do we have here? Who
That's
else is-
Heather.
Hi, Heather. My sister's name is Heather. I love Heathers. Welcome
Hi,
on.
Jen. Hi, Glenn. So nice to
Nice
Hey,
meet
to
you
meet
guys.
you.
really great that you joined us.
Yes, in the chat, you guys see me as SOS.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
great. Okay, so I know
Yes,
who you are now. I love
yes,
SOS.
yes, yes.
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 So let me
it's a
get
great
So,
name.
um, thank you, thank you. Um, yeah. So, what do you guys think? You know, about the blood. Does anybody remember in the very beginning somebody saying that her friend spoke of Nancy and said that when she has anxiety, she starts to have nosebleeds.
I
No.
don't
Does
remember that, but
anybody
I saw
remember,
that in
I,
the
recall
chat
that
earlier.
statement?
I remember that.
You do?
And I remember too, well, and I remember too, a friend saying that she had hit her arm or cut her arm on a, I don't know if it was a rose bush or one of the plants when she was there and it was bleeding like the night before or a couple nights before. Um,
Yes, but I can't recall who that was on. Was that Brian Enton or who was that?
no, that was on, oh gosh, I don't, I watch everything I can, but I can't remember
No,
who had what.
me,
But I do
me
remember they
either.
thought it was actually a plant at the front. And I wondered if maybe that was the blood from the night before when her friend was there. Um,
Yeah.
That's my Heather. Heather Bright, that's my sister.
Thank you,
That's it. Thank you,
Heather.
Heather, for becoming a member. So that is really interesting. I don't know how. So you're saying that this was an interview with a neighbor or a friend of hers?
Well, I
yeah,
think yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was actually her friend that was speaking because, everybody's been really, hush hush,
Right.
or if they were just speaking, on what they had heard her say. Um,
Interesting.
'Cause I don't think it was her friend that was speaking. I
And
think
that
I want to say it was somebody reporting, right?
Well, if you look at the porch guy's
she's
video,
asking you, Gladys, I think.
Yeah.
oh, sorry. Um, well, I'm trying to remember. It wasn't Brian Anton. It was, oh my gosh, what might it have been on Ashley Banfield? But it wasn't an interview
Oh,
with her directly. It might have been a news story, like a newspaper story that I read
Ashley
online.
Banfield. Yeah, that could be. Because I was watching Banfield and Bryant in the beginning.
Me too, but I don't know
Right.
how I would have missed that. But the
Right.
Well,
nosebleeds, I
this
think
actually came out. This was actually a few weeks after, like month 2 or 3, maybe, when somebody said
Mhm.
it could be blood because the friend actually saw her bleed when they were outside, and I mean, she didn't say that there was blood on the porch, but
Mm.
people have wondered if because I think it was her birthday was Thursday or Friday. I can't remember
Mhm.
now,
Yeah, you're
but
right. Thursday.
it was one of
Hey,
those nights, and the friend was at her house, and oh, you know what? It was mahjong night. That's what it was.
oh.
And this was like the last friend to leave, and
oh,
she was
that's
showing
right.
them
AW.
her new flower rose
Yeah.
or whatever it was, and just barely brushed against it, but it started
Mhm.
bleeding.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah, which I mean, that happens to a lot of us anyway, but just
Yeah.
gardening. But I just wondered if maybe the blood could have been from that.
Mhm.
Since I think Mahjong was Friday night, Thursday night or Friday night.
So
So
Friday.
before she went with family then?
Maybe
Right.
it was Thursday. Let's see.
Well,
But it
my
was her
question
birthday.
has always been, was that blood there before the porch? And somebody just asked it. Lynn said
Mhm,
before the bite light guy. My question has been because of the black and white video, it's very difficult to see.
Right.
I asked
you're
on
right.
the interview room. I actually, when he was taking calls one time, I think Josh was on there and got him to take calls at one point, and I was able to ask them. And Glenn actually recorded it, and I wish that we had had a cricket button for ourselves on replay. But I'm like, my question is the foliage. I originally, without seeing the video, because we hadn't seen the video yet, thought that it was
Mhm,
some sort of wreath that had been destroyed because it was just shredded all over at the front there. And I went, what happened?
Oh,
Because
like
yeah,
it
I'm
was hanging on the door
like
or
yeah.
she had it on the
something.
door and they grabbed it and there was a struggle or something and it was just shredded.
Mhm,
Well, then we get the video and we can see him, bending it and using it like I think he was using it as a fulcrum to pull it off because he couldn't get his fingers behind it. That's my
right.
theory. Because he bent
Mhm,
it when he pulled it from the yard and bent it. And I thought, wait a minute. When we looked at the video that Brian Enton took, you couldn't see blood on top of the greenery. The greenery was on
Right.
top of the blood. And I would have thought, that any of that greenery there would have had some dark spots on it or something. If with
mhm,
with
mhm,
where it was, right? Because it landed right by the camera, right by the front door. So I asked
mhm,
them, and it was literally, where's the crickets? It was crickets chirping. Like they just sat
mhm,
there completely quiet. And
mhm,
and they said, well, that's a lot. Because I was asking, a couple questions because I'm like, I have 5 seconds with them. And I said, but the main one was about the blood not getting on the greenery. I would have thought that it would have. And so John said, in his opinion, we don't know what the wind was doing that night. That maybe the wind blew it up against the door, so it didn't have the opportunity to get blood up on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess a lot of things, but after looking at the video, I don't see what looks like any splatter on the patio. Did you guys?
No, and you know what? We'll never know because they didn't take anything. They didn't take any of the greenery, well, that we know of. But I'll tell you what's interesting when that video, before Porch Guy surfaced, what, a week later or whenever that was, I remember looking at that door and thinking, why is there so much debris right at the entrance? Because that house is spotless. You can tell it's well maintained, well
mhm,
cared for, groomed, all of that. But there was all of this debris just right at the door. And that's before we saw the video of the porch guy pulling out the vines. And I thought, well,
mhm,
there you go.
mhm,
But it's like
mhm.
nobody even paid attention to that. Like FBI,
Mm.
I would have thought, I mean, that was the first thing I saw when I looked at that door. I thought, why is that stuff there? Because
Well,
people who have houses like that, they have them swept, especially if it's windy and dusty, they'll sweep it every day. I mean,
mhm.
stuff doesn't just collect at the front door like that.
Well,
Yeah.
if you ever watch the YouTuber Monk's Intrigue, I think I've heard
Yes.
y'all
Right.
mention him a time or two.
Love
He did an
monks.
Me too. He just released a new episode tonight, you guys, and y'all need to watch it. It's good.
Okay.
But the episode that I'm thinking of, he just focused on the blood on the porch, and he made a point to show that you cannot tell if there's blood on the porch. And also Sleuth Intuition did like a experiment with blood and his ring camera, and when he turned the lights off and you look through that camera, you couldn't really see the blood anymore.
That's
It's
interesting.
like
See,
it
I'm glad they
disappeared.
did that then because that was my theory with the black and white photography is you're dealing with infrared, right, Glenn? Isn't that what it is?
Well,
Right.
some of them when they go to
Yeah.
night
Some
vision.
of them when they go to night vision, it's infrared, but I wondered about that, whether we would be able to see any. I mean, it's so grainy anyway, that video.
Mhm.
And I mean, you can
Mhm.
see the squares, but I don't know that you would be able to see any liquid on the porch. That's very interesting. So
Well, and then
I wonder.
the foliage on some of the pictures, I can play that B-roll, and you can see that's on top of the blood.
right.
Of course, it could be a wind tunnel in there when the winds are out a certain way, but
But I would
a
have
lot
thought
of
that the
it's on
camera
top.
removal would have happened, is what I'm getting at, before they brought her out.
Mm-hmm.
So if she came out after all of that, foliage, catastrophe that was happening,
I would assume they would have vacuumed up all that foliage, because he could have, Bite Light Boy could have spit on it, or, who knows?
don't even get me started on what
Dribbled
they
on
left
it.
on that porch. But I'm just saying, I would have thought that there would have been blood splatter on top of the said foliage. That's what I would have thought. I
Right.
mean, because I would have thought that all of that happened before they brought her out. But then, like you guys are talking about, there's been a lot of people are like, how do we even know that that happened that night? How do we
Yeah, I
know
don't
that she
think it
didn't
did.
have
How do
a
we?
bloody nose and something happened and her mobility issues? She can't bend down to mop it and clean it up. And shoot, in the Arizona desert, it is dry, and I can tell you right now, it's not going to stay moist for long. So if that happened and she had Kleenex in her pocket and went and got the mail and came back and thought, oh shoot, I'll just get it later, I don't know.
So we have someone
I
waiting
just
in
think
I'm
there.
sorry, we have somebody else.
So, Mab, can you hear us? I don't. Mab's on here.
No way, Matt is on here.
Yeah.
He's saying he wanted to come on.
Let me.
tell him to turn off his YouTube and try it, because that's the only way I could get in.
Well, there's a lot of people that do it on their phones but still have the YouTube on the TV so they can see it,
Yeah, that's what I did, but I
But
had to.
almost
It
200
wouldn't
likes,
connect.
everybody. We would really appreciate the likes. Let's get up to 200 at least tonight. We would
There
really
he
appreciate.
is.
No way.
Who dat?
I know who that is. That's Pretty Little Clues. That's Justine.
Mab, I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened. All of a sudden,
You
you're
kicked
gone.
Mab out, Justine.
Oh, he's calling back. There he is. There's no room.
Sorry, no room at the end.
Oh man.
Justine took your spot. You're gonna have to wait a minute.
That's okay. I'll pop out of here so he can come on because I love him.
Oh, Heather, that's what's that? Oh, Jim is trying to talk.
I'm gonna leave, guys, because I need to get over to Adam and Maud over there.
Oh, okay,
And-
Jim.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
I know,
And sorry
Major's-
about your finger.
Major will be over there soon too. Sorry.
I wanted to say about the blood on the porch. If you look at the porch guy video when he first goes up on the porch, that blood is not there.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, there, you can look at the.
Bye,
you can look at
Heather, if you're leaving.
but then afterwards, the blood is there. So I think
Interesting.
the blood happened that night.
Okay.
I'll see you guys later.
Bye, Jim. We'll see you in a little bit.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Jim.
Hey, bye.
Bye.
Hey guys,
I don't know what was happening
y'all
with
hear
his
me?
phone.
It's weird because he just had a phone. That's usually the easiest
Wiretap is
one.
back, is what Analyze
Oh my
does.
gosh.
Oh my gosh, we have the Mabster, we have Gladys Kravitz, and we have Justine. Thank you for joining us.
Wiretap is back.
I lost
Hi, Mabs.
all my computer crashed and I'm trying to recover it. I installed an operating system on an external drive, so I got, I can go live again now, but I don't have any of my Mab Investigate stuff, none of my Mab Investigate's Foundation stuff,
Oh shoot.
all gone.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
We
so
were
sorry.
having computer issues the last few weeks, and then finally, no, I'm not going to say anything. Things seem
Yeah.
to be okay now. We'll see.
yeah. You need to knock on wood.
Yeah. And it
So-
doesn't matter what kind of computer. You could have brand new computer equipment. It's going to do it.
So what do y'all think? Did you see the first part or any of the graphics or anything?
No, what happened?
I
What do
missed
you
the
guys think?
graphics.
Okay, so what we were talking about is what would he know? So we did the first graphic was on, do we think that the person knew that she had mobility issues? And if they did, do you think that they thought that there would be resistance or compliance? The next graphic was on the backpack. I mean, does that show Some people have thought that the backpack was being used to take items out, not just
Nah.
Nancy.
Nah.
I personally think it was for just removal of her. But
Yes.
and then the next one was on the reconnaissance that we now know is a for sure thing on January 11th.
Yeah.
And it's like, so what could they have gleaned from just watching her from a distance? And then the last one was, do you think that they would have had to have known somebody on the inside to have been able to have pulled this off? Do you think that there had to have been some connection, whether through family or a few degrees of separation, like through a housekeeper or a home health person or what?
They could have gleaned her Sunday routine just by observation and known. I don't know if it was a weekly thing that they went over to A&T's for dong or dinner or whatever, but they could have gleaned that just by observation. I do believe that he knew all about Nancy. I think if this whole thing was to punish Savannah, I don't think it was for
Interesting.
ransom. I
That's
don't think it was
been
for
thought up a
ransom.
lot. I mean, I hear that a lot.
There's a lot of people that think that. What do you think,
Yeah.
Justine?
Mine's a little more outlandish than most, I guess I would say. But I believe this goes higher. I don't know if it's to get at Savannah, to get at her husband, but I think it comes from a place of power, whether international or domestic. But I do think it was very well planned out. And if it did happen on the 1st, which I'm more inclined to actually believe that it happened the 11th, and because word got out
Yeah.
that she was missing, they had to come out and say something. But I think it happened before the 1st, just from the Wi-Fi and data we were able to collect. Everything. I mean, a lot of the houses in that neighborhood, their signals dropped on the 11th. So that's when I think it
I
happened.
think that
personally.
You mean for the
I read
reconnaissance?
computer stuff
Their
messing up.
signals also dropped on the 11th?
There's no data on February 1st at all. Everything that was dropped happened on the 11th. So I think the crime itself happened the 11th, personally.
But what about the
You
the
remember?
the friends seeing her
I
that week
agree,
before?
Justine.
What's
So
that?
they're saying that
I
they
think
think that
people will
this
see
actually happened
anything with
January
24
11th, not February 1st. So you're saying that you don't think Nancy had been seen for several weeks and just that nobody reported it?
So that would mean
I
the
think they
family's
were.
involved for sure then, right?
Well, yeah, because
It
then
would
they
have to
lied
be.
that she wasn't. But I thought that we had confirmation she was in the Uber the night before.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
everything
don't
would be
really. All we
based on
have
what
is
they
their
told
word.
us. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. I want to hear from the Uber driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even know who he is.
Everybody else gave an interview, but not the Uber driver. And I'm wondering if we don't know what they know about the Uber driver.
I bet my wife could find the Uber driver and get him to come on.
I heard that it's a woman, and I thought the
It is a
interview room
woman.
said that they were able to find out a name or something. But all I know is that law enforcement said that that person was cleared, and they were able to get information, that confirmed that she had taken the Uber, and that's been my problem all along is we're relying on other information after the Uber that we don't have confirmation on. And it's like, so they say that she did this or she said that and it's like, look, people are like, well, don't you trust the family? I don't know the family. I mean, I want to think that no family would ever do this to another
Well,
human
and
being,
for what
you
Heather's
know?
saying, we don't have proof of an Uber driver. So she could
Exactly.
be.
Yeah.
I guess not. I thought we did.
Damn it,
This could
Heather.
Nope.
very well.
No, it was
All we
Justine.
I
have
think
is
it's
No, but Heather brings up they could have been all on January 11th.
No, that's Justine. Heather
Oh,
left. Heather
I'm
was in the
sorry.
middle. You're
Now,
getting
you
them
got to remember
confused.
that
Justine.
Yeah.
Cameron is military intelligence.
I changed that.
Mab, I
That's
can't
right.
So he
hear you
could have
very well. Is
gotten.
your volume down or?
Now her name shows up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You're just a little softer than
You got to
everybody
remember
else.
Cameron was in military intelligence, so he could have gotten word that something was coming down the pike. Um, and hid Nancy out. She could be still alive. That's one
I
Yeah.
hope you're
possibility.
right, Mab. That's what I believe too. I really hope. I hope that's it because
It's
I
either
think that
that
too.
I mean, I would
or
hope, I would really hope that that's, that she's in hiding somewhere, that we could, I
yeah.
think we would all be very
That
happy to know that and then gladly say we were
Right.
wrong,
Right.
we'll
but
never know
Exactly.
it, but it explains the behavior of
thank
everyone,
you.
including the botched crime scene and all of that.
Hmm.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me is what you just said, Mab, and also um, Justine. I think that's the only thing that seems logical in all of this
I mean, there's no
to me.
searching. You're not searching for someone
Something on
that's
my
not
mouth.
lost, right?
I agree,
Exactly.
Phyllis. I saw
There's no
Phyllis's
searching.
comment. Yeah, I agree. I think, there's been a lot of people in chats. I've seen it's not just our chat, it's other chats that are like, why are we still talking about it? And I think it's because it's so incredibly rare. It's less than 1% of elderly women
Yeah.
are abducted and or have been possibly unalived. It's so rare. And when it happens, the statistics that I saw said it's overwhelming that it's family and it's usually the son or the grandson.
We got a
And
5 minute warning.
yeah, we have a 5 minute
Thank you,
warning from
Major.
Major. Thank you. We have to get over to Patriot
All
Pride.
right.
He's their mod too. So we gotta go.
I'm there, too, so
But
I
we're gonna
better
be
go.
back on Saturday night. If any
8
of you
p.m.
are don't have hot dates or want to stay
As
up,
soon as I get my
well, or have a hot
early,
date and want to join us with some cocktails, we're gonna be here
yeah,
Saturday
You
night at
guys are
8
my
p.m.
hot date on Saturday.
All right. Awesome.
Awesome.
Love it.
This is my hot date, so I'll just
Oh,
you and I will be here 8 p.m. on
Well,
Saturday night. So, it says no, we're pushed back 15 minutes. Oh, okay.
Oh, he
So we
always
have a
says
little bit
that.
of
He'll
time.
say,
Good. Thank you, Major.
we'll
Adam is
push it
getting
back.
prepped. He's probably waiting for Mike to get his cocktails.
but
So,
I'm gonna ask the panel something because this is something that's it kind of like it doesn't drive me nuts or anything. Like last episode I went off, and I need to apologize. We're all so focused on Nancy Guthrie, and I want to solve this one horribly bad. I mean, as much as anybody else. But when you start looking into some of these cases, there are so many, mostly women, that have had similar situations like this. The Springfield Three is just the one that we focused on a few weeks
yeah.
ago, but there's so much more that's coming out about other similar things like this. Just crimes against elderly, crimes against children,
You
crimes
remember
against women.
Nancy
And we
Woodrum?
need to focus on all of those that we can. I
I
mean, we
do,
need to
Mab.
not go crazy on, doing 100, but Jennifer and I are going to bring up some more, probably do it on Mondays just to start. I know that Patriot Pride is bringing up something tonight that may be off of the Nancy Guthrie topic, at least for part of his show. I don't know what his plan is, but we all got to like give support on all those because as a group, there's literally hundreds and thousands of us now.
Yep.
We can solve some of these, or at least you know help it get closer to being solved. And I just think we need to go support the streamers when they're having a night on a different topic. It's not just
Yeah.
about Nancy Guthrie, but we want to
You
solve Nancy
remember
Guthrie, and
Nancy
we'll have
Woodrum?
Nancy Guthrie on until we find her or we get some answers at least.
What'd you say, Mab?
You
Matt,
remember, you remember
Nancy
Nancy
Woodrum is what he's
Woodrum?
saying. You're so quiet. I'm
We can
sorry. You're
barely
very
hear you,
quiet.
Mab. I didn't mean to talk over you.
Nancy Woodrum.
Okay, yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, but hers is solved.
Mhm.
Yeah, solved, but it was gerontophilia, so it's very rare as well. If you talk to Gary Bricotto, he'd be like 1 in 1 million, but it does happen.
Well, but
So,
in her case, what was interesting is if you all have followed that case and looked at her, she did not look, I would not consider her elderly. Did you all see her? Yeah, no.
No,
I mean, she
she
was,
looked young.
in her
she was a
70s.
horsewoman. She was, her husband had passed away. She lived alone, but she was running a venue. She was running all these things. And that guy was married, had apparently no criminal background, but thought she was
Right.
hitting on him.
Echo
Right, 'cause
It was a
Lloyd.
really
they were
weird
You
situation.
need to look into Echo Lloyd.
I wish you would make some what? What did she say? Make some
Um,
phone
I can put it back up.
calls to find out more about Eric or Echo Lloyd. Huh.
That's missing from here.
Okay. Do you mind sending me an email about that? I'll look into it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these cases, like you said, it's like I think there's some attention. I know everybody keeps talking about the Summer Wells case too, which is another one that I don't know how I didn't hear about that. I
yeah, that
guess,
was big.
yeah, everybody said
Long
it was
time.
really big, and I'm like, how did I not hear about her? But I'm glad I have because that case is absolutely baffling. I'm working with
Yeah.
Seth. I should ask him to come over. Oh, I would love that. Yeah, I actually saw
I
Army
heard
him.
Vet.
Yeah, isn't it Roger or Seth Rogers, right? That's who he's talking about?
Rogers.
I would love that, Army vet.
That's the point. There's some extremely intelligent people around these streams and chats, and
Well, Jaylene, Mab, I mean
let's
Gladys
get to
has done
work.
research. I know for sure, Justine, you've been doing a lot of research.
I can tell Justine is definitely a reasurcher. She talks like you do, and
She's my kind of girl. I don't think she's afraid to talk to anybody and call anybody. Yeah,
no.
Nope. Really not.
not
you guys.
afraid.
I heard a really interesting statistic today and I had not heard this before. That it's either 92 or 98% of women killed are by someone in
Unalive.
their family or someone they know. Unalive, sorry.
That's
It's
okay.
murdered.
Murdered, killed,
But by
We
unalive.
can't
someone,
say those words
We
really.
can't too.
He keeps saying that he's hearing now that they're getting better about understanding what
If you have a true
content.
crime, it's all in context. If they say anything that you said murdered or killed or anything, you just have to protest it, and they'll take care of it.
It's like
Usually,
we're talking
Yeah,
about,
others
you know,
have
crimes here.
all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a very high statistic, Gladys. You're right, and I think
I was
it.
floored. I mean, that was like, I had no idea it was that high. That's amazing to me.
That
It's
is.
I
That's
think it's disgusting is what it is, and I don't think any of us want to believe it. It's like when you say
well,
that, it's like you can't. It's unfathomable, you
the
know.
fact. Chris from the interview room brought this up, and we sure like him. I mean, he's an expert
Yeah.
with a room full of experts, and they say who was the last person to see them, who reported the crime. There was like 5 things. You remember what the other ones were?
Yeah.
Anyway, they all
Not
are
really.
family. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean they did it. It's just she was saying 98%. It's someone you know for sure. I mean,
Well, he said he's not accusing anybody, but he said follow the bouncing ball, and I haven't left the house. So my joke has been I haven't left the mat. You know,
yeah.
I haven't left the doormat. Like something is not right on so many levels. I just, I don't
That's
know.
There are a
one
lot of
thing
things not right. Yeah, it
kind
just
of
reeks. It's
confirms my
like,
theory is that if she was really abducted, that floor mat would have been taken for sure. It would have been MVAC'd. They would have done everything forensically
Exactly.
possible.
Like there's a reason they didn't take it.
Well, and
Yeah.
the greenery, like Glenn said, wouldn't you take that? Because
Foliage.
obviously somebody handled that foliage and was, handling it. I would think you would have taken all of that out.
Well, and it was up near his
Yeah.
face. He could have
Well,
breathed
but they
on
didn't
it.
know that
Whatever.
until after. You got to remember that footage didn't come out right away.
The
So
normal
when
That's
they
well,
were
they
fair.
also
when they
left the
originally,
Amazon package in the porch for, I don't know how long it was there.
Yeah.
I don't know when it came, but it sat there for several. I saw it in several video footages.
They had a
The
sprinkler
Amazon.
repair guy, an Amazon, an adult services person, all crawling over there. The pool guy. Who knows who else
Well, why
stopped
didn't
by?
they
And then
take the
Brian Itten's at the
package?
front porch with a camera.
Yeah,
I
but
want to
in
know
a
what
normal
was in the
forensic
package.
investigation, you would take the tile, you would cut that tile out and take it to Quantico, as well
that's
as
what
the
John
mat.
said at the interview room. He said he would have taken the whole door threshold. I mean, the
Yes.
whole everything.
Yep. Yeah, because the mount was still there with some of the foliage behind it.
Yeah,
That's why
Justine,
I
what
don't
the
even know if I
heck?
believe that was the crime scene. I think it maybe happened at the family members. There's a lot of odd activity on January 11th at a very well-known family member's house too. A
Really?
lot.
Do tell.
On January 11th?
Mm-hmm. As well as
Oh,
vehicles that say
Thank you,
White House.
respect.
I don't
Two,
know if
three,
they'd be that
4, 5, 5.
deliberate with naming their Wi-Fi or their equipment White House, but there's more than that. But there's a lot of devices, and January 11th is a date at that other family's house. I did a whole episode on it, Mab. You should know this.
Oh, what's her theory? Let's see. She said she
I'm going to
forgot
look up your episode. I didn't see that. I've
Shauna.
never heard that before. On
I hadn't
January
either, and I
11th.
guess I'm back to the Uber driver because they said that that's the last person that they have confirmation that she saw that night. And I thought I also heard that
That's
she
if
had
you
dinner
believe
with her friends on the Thursday before. So you think all of that's fake news?
Well, why are they not talking? Maybe that would explain why they're not talking, because they don't want to outright lie to the public.
You think
That
they've
would
been paid
explain a lot.
off?
Well, or just
or
explain
threatened.
whatever the situation is and ask to be quiet. I know,
What
I
was
mean,
Shauna's comment?
Savannah's,
Did we miss it?
I put it back up.
Oh, I missed it. What was it that she said? I'm sorry, Shauna. I missed
Avalanches,
it.
not monkeys.
Shauna said she wanted to ask you all something. From the beginning, I've
Right.
never been sold on the blood timeline. In my opinion, it looked older than a few days. Also, I think the outline in the backpack could be NVGs. Makes sense if they parked and walked in. What's an
Night vision
MVG?
goggles.
Navigations?
Night vision goggles.
Oh, night vision goggles.
Night.
Duh.
Oh,
goggles, yeah.
NVGs. Yeah. Duh. Interesting. No, I had not heard any of this. I guess, like I said, everybody was saying she was home because of the pacemaker. Well, now we know the pacemaker is nothing because I've talked to two different experts about it. That had nothing to do with anything. It reached out, her phone reached out, her app by the bed thing reached out, she was not there. So at that point, she wasn't there. So it didn't disconnect. It couldn't connect.
PM and it wasn't the same situation.
And then the blood was the only other thing that had me at their house because I'm like, how do we know she ever came home?
The Amazon package was delivered after, right?
The Amazon package was delivered after. It was not in the video. And the other thing is, I think they had already released it to the public. And Brian Enton asked one of the deputies or whatever, is it okay if I go? And he goes, yeah, everybody can go up. We've released it. And he was like, oh, okay. And that's when they saw the Amazon package. So I think.
but I want to know what was in that Amazon package, because it had to have been ordered at some point before Monday.
Probably 2
I
days
mean,
or
Who
one
released
day,
the
depending
crime
on
scene
what it
of
was.
this
it could
man?
have even been
See, Shauna said
Sunday.
that they would normally take a picture of it to show when it was delivered, and that's true. So I think they would have checked all that out. But okay, so Justine, now I'm back to the January 11th. I'm so confused. So you think that we were totally lied to about her being in an Uber?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so follow me here, right? Let's just say this outlandish theory that I have, and allegedly, in my opinion only, this happened on the 11th, right? That means everything that happened, everything that they've said afterward has been a fabrication or misleading, because there have been odd statements made about the 11th, then retracted. Then we had footage. Now, whoops, we deleted it. It's gone. The odd behavior of the family, the fact that no neighbors are talking, the fact that they just kind of came out and, said that's her
Mama
blood.
of three.
Well, that means we have to believe everything that they're telling us. And if they were on board, then anything they tell us is just basically, what do we need to say to get them off of our scent? I think they wanted this case to go away a long, long time ago. And I believe, if you think about it, SG calls MK. So Nancy's 2 degrees of separation away from someone who sits on the Senate House or the Senate Committee for Intelligence, and another degree away from POTUS. So who were they trying to get at? Was she the most vulnerable and the easiest to target to say no one here is invincible?
I mean, you're not the only one that thinks it's somewhat, but see, Mama said that she saw an interview with her friends that say she was seen on the 30th at her home when one of them stopped by. And that's what I thought I saw too. That's the friend that has stopped talking. She came out and said that
Yep.
she saw Nancy. This is what was going on with Nancy. And then I think she's one of the church friends groups because I found her name. I'm not
No,
going to say it, but so you
I
think,
thought that gal dropped off a birthday present. She didn't actually see her. She dropped it off because she didn't think she was home.
well, this may
Um,
be two
the
different
one
people
who,
we're talking about then, because this,
right. Well, there's another one that was there with the Mahjong friends that was with her with the plant, but none of them are talking. But the one
but isn't
um,
that after January 11th? That's what I'm getting at.
they said,
Yeah,
I mean, this. There's something weird going on. I don't know. Nobody's talking. Kathy Lee, a good friend, was asked to not discuss it,
right.
which is weird.
Yeah.
Um, I
I
just,
just think that they're
I don't
afraid
know.
of information coming out. It is, I think it's odd because she was on court TV. She's a news anchor. She's asked the hard questions to families that have missing people or terrible circumstances. I do find it a little off-putting to me that she's putting everybody else at arm's length, yet she's dug right in other people's personal lives with not so great things. And I hate that I'm saying that out loud because it really did actually hurt me to see that. Because I thought, if
But it's
anything, she's
true,
going to get it. She's going to understand what these families have gone through. And she's going to understand that there's going to be a lot of hard questions. There's going to be a lot of questions that people have and that news reporters want. She's a
right?
news anchor. She's asked these questions before. I was really kind of shocked to see her not try to answer those questions or not try to talk. And I personally didn't appreciate her Hoda interview that was seemed completely
Mm.
scripted. There was no pushback from Hoda, no digging in from Hoda. It's like I just it felt
And Savannah despises her, from what I hear in the
that's
background. You
I've
know,
heard that too. That's really awful if that's true. But are we
You
going to
Hoda
miss
was
control
It
the
Patriot
sounded
now?
like,
story.
Hoda was
Thank you
over
for
the
saying that,
top,
You
Jennifer. You're
wasn't
control the
welcome. Because I mean,
story. You
look, it's
control the
not a
narrative.
popular opinion. I know Savannah is very loved. Um, I I personally was very I don't even know what word to use, disappointed when she came out to the memorial and didn't turn around to the streamers and go, I just want to thank every one of you for keeping my mother's name and face, alive on YouTube and around the world and in social media. I thought for sure she was going to say something. I was literally sitting on the edge of my seat, like waiting for her to go. And I'm like, she's going to do it. She's going to do it. And when she didn't,
all
I think it was
performative.
this is making it sound trivial, but it was a bigger letdown than Michael Jackson not doing the moonwalk when we all thought he was going to do it. It was like,
We waited for it.
oh, like I was just waiting and it didn't
it
happen.
was rude, and it was more than a snub. She doesn't appreciate them being there because she knows somebody's going to find something because they can't hide this, or I shouldn't say they. It can't be hidden forever. Whatever happened. I mean, a lot of it will be hidden forever,
So
but no, they
much of
don't
what I see in
appreciate.
this case is performative.
Very. I feel like all the interviews have been totally, it was like reading bad fiction. It was just bad creative writing. Like it would have been kicked out in creative writing 101. It would have
What do
been,
you
ew,
think,
this is bad.
Justine?
Well, what I'll say is I like to just focus on like hard facts, right? I don't like to speculate. I don't believe the families involved in the crime itself. I do believe that they're part of the cover up. I do think that, if Senator Sir person, I don't know if you know what his name said. So
I know
MK,
who you're talking about.
comes to my door and says, this is a matter of national security. I cannot have you be talking about this case. Then you have one little old lady who thinks she's helping by supplementing or supporting their narrative, their timeline. All that does is leave extra room for people to pick and pull apart their words. So it's narrative control. You control the story, you control the narrative. Without people talking, there's less loose ends. Loose lips sink ships. And
Right.
when I can make more of what? Sorry, thought someone said hey. When you can make more of the
Thank
story
you.
and more of the behavior fit something like that than what they've told us, that's where I'm gonna go with it. You know what I mean? I can make it make sense. the family's behavior, the talking, the not talking, the misaligning stories, the disappearing footage, I can make that make more sense with they are not telling us the truth than I can with
Right.
they're telling us exactly what happened.
Very
Agreed.
well put. Very
Very
well
well
put.
put.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was
Sikorsky just said something. She said, you know what the real issue with all of this is a lot of the facts that we're going off of are facts that the media has gotten from their quote unquote sources. Think about what's actually being reported by law enforcement. And that's correct. And that's my problem. I'm trying to go off of not even what Ashley Banfield said or anybody else, which I still think that their sources are credible, but I really feel like we should be going off of what law enforcement said. And, they said that she was seen that night with the Uber. But I don't know anymore, guys. One minute I feel like I'm standing on solid ground with where I think this is going. And then the next minute I get some emails and I'm like, oh, well, I can't prove that. And then I start going down the rabbit hole because I really want to be able to deal with facts. And some of this stuff, I mean, we say it all the time, truth is stranger than fiction. But let's
that's
have
for
one
sure.
last word from everybody because then we can all get over to Patriot Pride so we don't miss it and Mab doesn't divorce us. Don't divorce us, Matt.
We will.
Major Rammer Jammer, I mean. Major Rammer Jammer,
All
don't
right,
divorce
Mab, you
us.
want to go first
Our
because you got to
I
get
mod.
think
over
it's
there.
a setup. I think it's a setup. I mean, I think she's probably sipping margaritas somewhere.
Okay.
Or
Well, I want to believe that. Let's believe that she's okay. I hope you're right. What about you, Justine?
I will say that I think that a lot of the focus has been shifted to the two family members. I think they've kind of become the scapegoats, the John and Patsy Ramsey of this case, if you will. However, there's not been a lot of focus on SG and who her husband is and those connections. He is a
yeah,
politician and he runs political campaign parties. If you don't look at every single one of those interviews and every single talk that she has and make it say, does this look like a grieving family member or like a politician? So think about that, and I think the rest will say itself. But there's far more
Very well
powerful
said.
connections and enemies on that end than
Well, you're not
the family
alone.
members.
We've gotten enough emails and comments about
Yeah,
it. So,
that's for sure.
yeah, interesting. What about you, Gladys?
Well, I'll make mine short because I agree with both Mab and Justine. I think absolutely. And I hope that Buried with Nature, and I've said this before, I'm hoping that that translates to it's cryptic for she's in Switzerland buried in a mud bath, salt bath at some beautiful resort.
Oh,
I hope she's in hiding or protective
well, that would be
custody or
nice.
something. But
Yeah.
and I think
yeah.
this is far deeper than we'll probably ever really know. But it's fun exploring. It's not fun, but this is the most interesting case in my lifetime. I mean, Lindbergh was before me. This is way more interesting than Lindbergh, I think. But anyway, but thank you for letting me come on tonight, and thank you for
Oh,
being on tonight too.
Thank you
thanks
all
for
for coming
coming on.
on.
Gosh, we're honored that you all are here, and we feel very humbled by the amount of people that are following us and subscribing and liking our videos. And I mean,
Joining.
yeah,
That's
joining
crazy.
members. It's crazy. Yeah.
That surprised
You
me a
guys are
lot.
doing a
Yeah.
great job.
Oh, thank you so
Great
Thank
much.
job you're
Well,
you.
wait till
doing.
you see next week's and Saturdays. I think y'all are going to be really interested. This next coming
We
week is going to be very, very interesting. So we
I
appreciate
can't
everybody
wait.
that
right.
joins us. And sorry that we had a car accident start tonight. It's just one of those weird
Well,
Oh
I
days.
missed the
no.
whole beginning, so
Well,
I
good.
missed all
Yeah,
of
why
that.
Well,
bring it up?
I shouldn't have brought it up. It was totally fine. So
Nobody's there at the beginning.
I know I heard Maureen O'Connell on Dan's show one time when they had one issue after. She goes, "Stop apologizing." So I'm going to stop apologizing. So thank
Yeah,
you,
it's not your
panel.
fault.
Thank you, everybody, for coming up, and we'll see you guys over
All
at
Thank
right.
you
Patriot.
guys.
Good
Thank you,
Okay,
night.
thanks
everybody.
Good
so
night.
much.
Congratulations,
Patriot
Pat. You're doing great.
Oh, thank you so much. I
Oh,
really
thank
appreciate you
you.
stopping by. It was so fun to have you on. And we have one
I'll
little
be
anytime.
back.
feel good. If you're not familiar with us, we do a little feel good at the end and try to have something positive to leave on a positive note. So We'll show that, and then we'll end our broadcast after that. But stay with us for a second while we show that. Oh, who is that? Lazy Days. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
guys. Really
That's so
appreciate
nice
that.
of you.
All
We
right,
love our
so
new members. This
you
is
can-
great.
I'll leave it where you can talk.
Perfect.
This is just a little picture that was taken.
Y'all, the laughter, you all have enjoyed our crazy married selves and our fun friends. Kelly, if you're listening, KO, you're famous. Everybody thinks you're hilarious. And thank you to my sister and my brother-in-law and your sister and your mom. I saw your mom was in here earlier. We have the most amazing family, and it'll make me tear up. And we have the most amazing new community family that we're building here, and we can't thank you guys enough. And the end of the time of us talking about these missing people and their families and these victims, I just hope that we all come together with the same goal in mind. And that's, if one person knows something, if one person thinks they know something, I just hope you talk to somebody you trust, find somebody that you can talk to, and we get these people home to their families. And then in end, stay curious, stay factual, stay unfiltered and unapologetic. And thank you for joining us.
Good night, everybody.